What's up, everybody? I'm here at the studio for once, doing a real life live stream type event. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. I assume that with this kind of live stream where I talk about something boring, getting money off people that you've never met before, I probably won't have as many people that are interested in it, but it's kind of where I want to go with my YouTube channel. I know, if we would be honest about it, all of you wonderful folks have come from the YouTube channel because you saw quarters or my laundromat stuff, more so than my real estate company or to an extent the trailer park and stuff. But this is what I really like. I like talking about money. We did a quarter collection. Now, I do want to say this for a second. I like money. This is from the last quarter collection we had. I've got like 6 or 9 inches of $1 bills. Everybody likes money. So we're going to start doing this content more regularly, and we're doing a lot of it on Teachable because I have this expectation that YouTube's not going to really like the content, this kind of content. It's going to be kind of more boring, more highbrow. But I don't see a lot of it on YouTube or on the internet, specifically about how you would get people to invest money in your business ideas and your startups and things like that. As most of you guys know, with the laundromat, I have no money in it. Nothing. I haven't spent a dime really on the laundromat. I started my whole company for $25,000, and a large portion of that was actually in legal fees and money that I spent to get everything started. The legal fees, a little bit of owner equity in the entity, and now I'm at this point where I have over $4 million of assets in my companies. I have the YouTube channel. I have all these different things, and really my startup money was a very insignificant sum compared to the large scheme of things. Now, when I was younger or just starting in real estate, I always had this expectation that you had to be this really smart, highbrow person. You had to know the right people. You had to have the right education. And for a dumb hillbilly like me, it would be a thing where I would never reach that point. But as time went on, I came to this realization that none of that stuff was really true. That it was mostly about the knowledge that you had and just the things that you knew were much more important, much more significant than, like who your parents were, whether you grew up rich, you grew up poor, or really anything of that nature. I really can't read the comments. Ashton and Slow and a couple other people are supposed to be helping me. So I apologize if you're asking a question or you have a concern or something. Go to Discord. They will pop a message on my monitor that says, "Brandon, do this, don't do that. Something's going on." So I'm getting questions about Minecraft. I don't care about Minecraft right now. We're talking about money and how you can get investment money, and it has everything to do with what's on my screen behind me. Once again, like the video. If you want to watch a replay of the live stream, go on investmentjoy.com/teach. That's where we're going to put a lot of the content, this kind of highbrow type content, less entertainment, more fulfilling. It could be a beer commercial or something like that, more filling, less glitz and glamour. Although I do have a stack of cash here. And this is for the clickbait. So I'm sorry. If you have a question, get on the mod team on Discord. They're taking messages. So on this screen behind me, I have my original business plan. And it is a boring document, at least to a lot of people. And I have a person in my family. He is a military veteran. And he's got this great idea to start a really cool company. The concept is great. The ideas behind it are great. And he went to the Veterans Administration for funding. And believe it or not, there's crap loads of grant money out there that you can get if you're in certain regions, you're in a minority, you've been in the military, you have physical limitations. There's all this grant money out there. But one of the things that they will require from you is a business plan, which is what I've got on the screen behind me. And when I started off, I thought, even when I was 16 and doing a paintball business, I had so many people say, "Oh, you need a business plan." And I would look and I would download the templates on the internet because the internet existed back then. and I would get these templates and stuff. I thought, business plans are stupid. Why would I ever want to do them? And I talk to people on a regular period now with, the 237,000. Hopefully I'll keep it staying at 237 by the end of this. You won't get all mad at me and unsub. But I get all these people and they say business plans are stupid. But the reality is a business plan requires you to critically think about your business ideas. And that's who the live stream's for. People that might want to be in real estate or start a business, buy a laundromat. And I want to go through with you guys tonight on the live stream the core components of a business plan, why you need one, and why they're not dumb. I thought they were dumb. They're not dumb. So we're going to start here in a second. I'm going to go and make sure no one's screaming and yelling and angry at me real quick on, I don't know how to lock the focus. I don't know how to do that from here. The cameras are 10 feet in front of me, for better or for worse. So reading the comments very quickly. How can you transfer the money? You can cash at me. So what was the $400,000 idea? The $400,000 idea was my real estate business that I now have 140 rentals right now. So reading through really quick. Ashton is Ashton on Discord. Oh, someone wants to see the bald head. It's really not impressive, guys. I wanted the red hat so you pay attention to it and not my bald head. Isn't that great? So, okay. So behind me is the business plan. If you want to download your own free copy, it is at investmentjoy.com/teach. So starting off with a business plan, you have something called an executive summary. In a nutshell, with a business plan, the idea is for you to critically think through any business idea that you have. Whether it be a lawnmower business or a real estate business, you want to do a laundromat, you want to start a microbrewery, you want to start a Minecraft server, you want to get into small engine repair, maybe you want to start a PC repair business, maybe you want to do fluff and fold for a laundromat, maybe you want to start a beer garden or a restaurant. Maybe all that you aspire to in life is to write really weird ebooks on the Kindle Direct program on Amazon. Maybe you want to make films. I don't know what you guys want to do with your life, but you would be shocked at how much money is out there floating around in the pockets of rich people, and it's just there waiting for you to go and grab. But you have to show a clear path that you can be trusted with money and that money is something that would be of use to you. So the business plan. So it starts off with an executive summary, going over a kind of broad overview topic of what your business is about. It's executive, it's high level, a summary of the business that you want. So if you download the copy, you'll see I'm talking about specifically about the LLC that I started years and years ago that I wanted to operate in Central Ohio and specialize just in high cash flow properties, meaning properties that would make me $400 a month every month. And for a lot of people, they don't realize that there are pieces of real estate out there that can put $100 to $200, $300 in your pocket every single month for as long as you're alive. A friend of mine, his name's Joe, he calls them money trees. And every time he buys a piece of property or a piece of real estate, he says, oh, hey, I bought another money tree. Joe owns 123 money trees and a hotel. And he did that having been evicted over a dozen times. His mom was a heroin addict. And he said that when he was a tween, early teenager, all his life possessions he carried around in trash bags because his mom was so unstable, going from house to house to house to house, he got tired of packing his crap up when it was time to leave. So all of his possessions, all of his clothes, toys, whatever it was, books for school, he carried around in trash bags. People made fun of him. He was on the wrong side of the tracks. And he, over the past 35 years, he's become a very influential person. If you live in Ohio, he's involved in several big businesses that you've probably heard of, but I don't want to mention. These are a couple of them are real shady, and I'll get demonetized if I go into detail on them. But he runs a lot of different businesses. But he grew up in this very poor environment, and he's become very, very successful through his idea of planting as many money trees as he can. He owns, all those properties, very, very wealthy. He's completely debt free, which is a great thing for those of you that are big Dave Ramsey fans. So He specializes in cash flow real estate. I do cash flow real estate too. You don't have to do the same things that I'm interested in, but I truly believe that having a solid business plan is one of those things you kind of need to know, or at least have to do. So let me check questions real quick. So I'll go through all the questions later. I'll go through the Discord comments. If you super chat, Ashton will get a hold of me. I'm not telling you you have to super chat to ask me a question, but it's always quite unorganized. Yeah, Ashton's posting it in on the YouTube feed, so that's cool. Yeah. Okay. So my company specialized and continues to specialize in cash flow real estate. My criteria started off that I was only going to buy properties that were a minimum of 13% net return on investment, meaning the cash yield pre-debt. It doesn't include appreciation or market increases. My actual rate of return right now over the past, since July 2013 is about 20%. I don't know if you guys knew it, but if you can consistently hit 20% returns and you start off with about $10 a day, you'll be a millionaire in just 6 years. I mean, some of you guys might not be interested in being a millionaire in 5 or 6 years, but some of you might be. So those are interested in that kind of stuff. Hey, it's Livestream's for you. So the median purchase price for my intended properties at one time were single-family, detached, freestanding residential homes in my region, which is right outside Columbus, Ohio, starting off at $37,500. The majority of these kinds of homes would rent for, at that time, I expected $700. The market's gone up like $150 per unit. Now, and then I break down my taxes and my insurance on that, vacancy rates. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a picture in my executive summary of where I think the costs will be. And as we get it further into the business plan, you'll see that it's kind of a range of prices. And you kind of want a somewhat flexible document, but you also don't want a document that's going to make you look like an idiot and say, oh, I have no clue what's going to happen. You want to do your research, as much research as you humanly can, because you should realistically be so intimately involved in the business that you care about, you can answer every question. In the business plan, it has to reflect in writing that you are that knowledgeable about the business you have interest in. When I was a kid, I was in paintball. My brother and I had a paintball business. We knew everything you could do with paintball guns. I, at one time, could blindfold myself, or in the dark, I could take apart certain kinds of paintball guns. I could repair them, specifically auto mags. I could go in, I could do a power tube switch out O-ring replacement on an auto mag. This is back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I could do it blindfold. That's how well I knew one aspect of the paintball business. But when it came to the numbers, I didn't know anything. And if I would have known the numbers like I can now with businesses that I'm involved in, the business would have been a multi-million-dollar business. Instead, it failed. Failed miserably because I didn't know how to do math. And I neglected to critically look at my business like I should have done, looking at the math, being able to put those thoughts on paper. I failed algebra. I got by as a D average student with algebra. Math was never a highlight in my life. English is pretty bad too. But in between those things, once I got into real estate, once I started hearing stories how people had grown up just as poor as I was, and they owned multi-million-dollar fortunes, it started to become really clear, hey, I've got to do this stuff whether I like it or not. And if me getting better at math and English, just not a lot, just a little bit, if those kinds of things would help me make money and set up myself up, my future family that I didn't have at the time, if I could do those things and set myself up in the future, gosh dang it, I'm going to learn how to do it. So that's that. Those were very important things to me. Then my business plan went on to say that I was going to start leveraging properties as the cash flow increased on the properties, which is this idea that if you build a business, you can use the money to snowball and buy other properties. If you feel like Googling something later on, of course, I want you to watch the entirety of the live stream. Once again, the replay will not be on YouTube. It'll be on or on our Teachable account for free, granted at investmentjoy.com/teach. And once again, I'll be taking questions a little bit later via Discord. The live stream's going too fast. I just can't pay attention to it. Sorry, guys. I know you. I'm sure you have wonderful questions that have nothing to do with Minecraft right now. So, with businesses, one of these little fun things, segmenting a little bit away from business plans. It's possible to go in and buy a company using the income it produces as your bank statement. It's called a leverage buyout. If you want to get on investopedia.com later and look at a leverage buyout, it's really cool. You don't have to have money to buy a large company. I want to say like GM bought out some of the big brands in the past through LBOs, leverage buyout. So, okay. So then I go after the executive summary. The next segment of the business plan is the general company description, providing company goal, the way the company is owned, the company history, most important strength, core competencies, significant challenges company faces now and in the future. That part is very important for you guys to think critically about business. Mission statement, that's a real hippy-dippy way. A couple sentences that say, oh, this is my vision for what we want to do. Form of ownership. In this specific instance, I was using a limited liability corporation, a limited liability company, which I still use today. We started that one back in 2001, and it kind of sat on the shelf forever. Then I kind of transitioned it to real estate. Once I go into the company history just a little bit, that I had got a little bit of investment seed money, and that I was using this updated business plan. This is revision number 2. The original business plan was a little bit different. This one's from mid-2014. My original one was mid-2013. So there was like 1 year of extra data I had. Significant, most important strengths and core competencies. When you have a business or you want to start a business, you have to figure out what's going to place you ahead of your competitors. If you were doing a business plan on a Minecraft server, you would have to say, oh, SkyPixel sucks. I hate them because they neglect the little guy, and we're going to beat them because we're going to do something else. We're going to get celebrities to actually get on and play with the other people that are playing on the server, and they don't do that at all. I don't play on SkyPixel, but it's just, you have to differentiate yourself from your market and how you're going to take market share away from other people that are out there. Be sure to hit the like button on the video if you already haven't. I would really appreciate it. And you have to go and think about significant challenges that will face your company, like significant, major pitfalls, major differentiations, how your competitors can kind of screw you in your own marketplace. You have to be able to convince investors that you're competent enough and that you address your challenges sufficiently enough that they're not throwing their money down a toilet. I talked to a guy this morning that was telling me why, in and of myself, I was not smart. And he was telling me that I'm not smart because I was not investing money in virtual real estate in video games. He said that you need to start buying real estate in video games, and here's why. And I said, here's why I will never do that ever. And I had multiple cases where the real estate in video games that he had was not advantageous compared to what I do in the real world with houses that people live in. And I asked him this question here that I knew that I'd be presenting to you guys tonight. How critically have you reviewed your business ideas and your business plans with virtual real estate? Buying a billboard on a video game that has like 20 people playing it. And this guy's wealthy, but he's convinced that buying a virtual billboard was important because the game's going to be the next Unreal Engine or something like that. It's crazy. So they're talking about specifically about what's core issues that might differentiate yourself and cause problems. Here, I know this is boring, guys, because I did peek down there and you're like, there's nothing in here. This is the reality of business. A lot of this stuff's boring, and you have to keep your eyes on the prize as to where your business might land in the future, because everybody's going to do this. I meet people that do business plans for other people, and they're $5 to $10 grand, and they still don't get money off investors because the investors can look through the BS. You guys watch Shark Tank, it's real easy for the big sharks on there to realize that, oh, these people have no clue what they're talking about. They paid somebody else to go in and create documents and forge information. And it's interesting, if you talk to some of the people that are on Shark Tank that have kind of done business with specifically startup major VC type projects, it's amazing how much fraud there is out there by people who, oh, nice, the battery's exhausted, cool, the battery's dead, yay, shut down. So we're going back to this camera. So founder information, you've got to have information on how you are as the founder of a company. For a lot of people, it's hard to start off without a whole good track record, but you've got to find yourself in a position or position yourself in a way that you can get some experience, even if it's working under somebody else. When I started this company, I never owned a house before. I'd never owned a house before. I want to buy 500 rentals, and I've never owned a house before. So when you talk about your information, some businesses need to hire somebody else as a founder. A lot of ones that I run into, the person presenting the documents, the founder, you have to figure a way to interject yourself in what business idea that you have, the thing that you really want to do yourself, and go in and say, hey, I am the kind of guy that you want on this kind of project. And I did this all as somebody that never really owned a house before, never owned investment properties before. I said, hey, guys, look, I have managed a piece of property for my brother, and I've done foreclosures for banks. I've done about 1,400 foreclosure orders for different banks: JP Morgan, Chase, Deutsche Bank, Bank of America, Bank of NY Mellon, Countrywide Financial. Countrywide Financial was great to work with. I was the president of a board of realtors, and I was a director prior to that, and I invested some money. This says I invested $37,525, and which is kind of inaccurate because some of that was equity that I was awarded from the original round, so which was really cool. Then I segue into market economics. How is the economy looking for your business? I was talking to the guy that I talked to this morning or this afternoon. He was convinced that digital real estate's great because Unreal Engine is this wonderful framework, and this company he invested in with virtual billboards was going to be the next Unreal Engine competitor, and how they're going to be like their own the behemoth competing against Unreal Engine. I don't think so, but he had this whole idea of how his market was going to grow. I asked him to quantify, how do you know this market's going to grow? What kind of data can you put with what you say to prove to an investor or somebody outside yourself that it's actually true? He had no information. Here I spent a week studying the economy in my local market. I've gone back to the 1930s for the Central Ohio market and tracked real estate growth. There's things like the Case-Shiller Index. So much information is available on Google for you to help quantify your business ideas, whether it be census tract data, Case-Shiller Index for real estate. You can see whether an economy in an area is growing or declining. And then that helps you make a value judgment, if your business is an offline business in a local marketplace, as to whether you can actually the economy in your area is going to be an asset or a detriment to your business. Nothing's insurmountable, but you have to be kind of careful with it. Central Ohio sees about $4 billion in real estate transactions every single year, which is nice. If you get 1% of that $4 billion, it's kind of awesome. So that's kind of something that I was kind of concentrating on with that. Our market now, this is 2014, so 6 years later, our market's like a $6 billion marketplace. And I talk about those ideas here, and then what prohibits anybody from off the street getting in to this business that I think is going to be just phenomenal. Me and my investors are going to make all the money in the world. How can we do this, but in a way, how can we do this successfully when other people can't? And then I list the barriers for entry: high capital cost, lack of market knowledge, labor shortage, difficulty finding skilled workers, lack of a real estate background. You have to differentiate your knowledge set from other people's knowledge sets. Everything's attainable. I hope that that's something that you guys kind of walk away with any video or anything you see on my channel, is all this stuff is learnable. All this stuff is doable. Hillbilly Brandon with his Hillbilly Jumbotron of Walmart TVs can do it. You guys can do it too, but you're going to have to invest a lot of time potentially in your knowledge. The bigger the market, the bigger the industry, the more knowledge you're going to have to go. I mean, but I know a 16-year-old kid that is an insane programmer, and I think he made a Minecraft version in Python at like 16 years old, and he's invested multiple summers in learning how to code. So if you aspire for something big, it's going to take an time investment. You're going to have to get off playing GTA 5 once in a while. I'm not saying you can't ever do it, but you might have to consider just kind of going that route and not investing all your time in that. Invest in Googling things you're interested in, market data, learn some economics so you can talk to investors. All this stuff's free. Watch some educational YouTube videos as compared to the endless music videos online. So, rental economics, I went back. My specific marketplace saw a 7.8% rental increase in 4 years. You go into places like LA on the West Coast, they have like 7.8% rent increases every single year. So they're way higher than us, and you have to. And I had to differentiate myself. Why is Ohio a good place to buy in? Now everybody wants to be in Central Ohio. Our market's grown so much, but at that time it was very difficult to get somebody interested in buying property in the Central Ohio marketplace. A lot of people like the idea of buying in Cleveland because you can still, even to this day, go up there and buy a halfway decent house for $5,000. You're going to get shanked in an alley and die in a pool of your own blood, but you can still buy a house up there for $5,000. So that kind of those kinds of properties, $5,000 properties that an investor will never see or touch, kind of has an appeal to it. But they're not there, and they don't see the problem. So at that time, and even now, it can be kind of difficult to convince somebody, hey, buy in Central Ohio rather than Cleveland. So that was a rental economic segment that I had to overcome, convincing people to invest with Hillbilly Brandon in Central Ohio, outside Columbus, the largest cow town in the U.S., as compared to Cleveland. Because you could go there and see the Rock and Roll Museum, which some people think is cool. I've talked to several investors who like to go to Cleveland and buy property up there because they can go to the Rock and Roll Museum as a tax write-off somehow. So consumer benefits. My phone's going off on Google. Consumer benefits. I had to or needed to come up with a way to explain to investors why I was going to provide a value to the market that other people couldn't. So what I did was I went and I called a bunch of my competitors in my local area and asked them, what are your prices? This is one of those things that I tell people to do on a regular basis and they don't do it. So I called my top two competitors, or the two largest landlords, and asked them for their pricing. My one competitor had 1,000 square foot properties, 2-bed, 1-bath, no covered parking. Their average rate was $750 a month. They were well maintained. My other competitor was a landlord who's now passed away. He had 75 properties, average 800 square foot per property, 2-bed, 1-bath, uncovered parking, $600 a month on average with very, very poor maintenance. And my idea was to go in the middle, split the difference, do okay maintenance, do well maintenance on them at a $700 a month rental rate with the same square footage. So then I end up offering a same size, same condition for a less price as everybody else. And I felt that I had the numbers to back it up, because on one of these next pages, we will see my market identification. I identified my core consumers, young families that had minimal credit, that needed rentals, and older people and seniors who had a limited fixed income with no interest in buying houses. That was my goal for tenants back in 2014. It's still today, 6 years later, coronavirus later. I still have a lot of older people and seniors on SSI, SSD, renting my properties, and younger people with a lack of credit that want to be in a property later in life, but they don't have the resources right now. By owning the properties outright and using innovative rehab strategies, we can offer housing to the market that's not widely available. I ended up poaching my rehab crews from other landlords who didn't like their people because the workers wanted to do repairs and work in a better way. The work crews that I hired wanted to go the high route on rehabs, and the landlord did not want to spend money. I know it doesn't look like it on some of my videos, but if you would, I spent $250,000, maybe $350,000 last year on fixing up properties, which is crazy. So on the next thing, I talk about my location, just the market depth of my rural counties outside Franklin County, which is Columbus, Ohio. I think my next area, income forecasting. I took my local county and segmented the market on how many properties sold in 2013 as rentals, and it was 1.32 or 1.3125 million dollars, 1.3 million dollars, and of those properties, they would have produced $23,000 per month in revenue. That's about a 20% gross yield. And from what I hear, no one had ever sat down and looked at a county-wide survey of what gross rents were at that time. And I was talking to a couple investors that were in the region. They said, there's no way that your numbers are right. These are established investors, and they had never done a market survey in the area. And I looked at all those, and then I started looking at all these different expansion areas. Hey, if this goes well in my county, and you guys as an investor wants to throw unlimited capital at me, hey, we could buy up to 1,245 houses in a total span of 5 years, which is an astronomical number. And even to this day, I get challenged by people who say, Brandon, your market just is not big enough to buy that many houses. And then I go, and somewhere on my computer, I have this giant PDF file of like 150 house listings that sold to prove them wrong. And it's this great feeling that I'm like, oh, look at Hillbilly Brandon. Here's the proof, guys. You've never done the research. So while these guys buy, and it's my typical competition, they buy 1 or 2 houses a year. I bought 46 in October of 2019. In an 18-month period prior to that, I bought another 46. I have bought more houses in a day than they've bought in their lifetime. And I don't want to, I should say that, I don't want to brag about it, but I also want you guys to realize that through the right kind of market research and data analysis, you guys can do it too. Because once again, there's nothing really special about me. I just have invested a lot of time in it, and I'm trying to share these things with you guys, random people on the internet. So then I segued into income forecasting. If I had unlimited amounts of money, here's where I think it's going to go. And I failed on this miserably. Because by 2020, I wanted to be bringing in net like $150K a month. I'm nowhere close to that. But that assumed that people were going to throw unlimited amounts of money at me. Instead, I just got $500,000 in a year. I failed because I only got $500,000 of investment capital to start off with. Which, it's like shoot for the stars, maybe you'll hit the moon. That's kind of what I did. I didn't hit the moon, but I ended up in low Earth orbit, in a mostly in a orbit that was stable, a nice parking orbit. So I'm doing okay. But I missed those goals. By quarter 4 2018, I wanted to be bringing in $500,000 a month. So I'm at a very small fraction of that, but I've still exceeded the expectations of my marketplace by just an astronomical amount. Once again, if you have a question, there's no way for me to read the questions on YouTube. The way that I see them on my streaming console is just like, I can't read them. Here in about 10 or 15 minutes, I will get on the Discord server. If you've super chatted, Ashton has them to me in a direct message. I'll make sure that on the Teachable live stream, those questions will be answered, but they're going to be ended at the end of the segment of this lecture live stream type thingy. So if you want to watch the replay, go on Teachable, which is investmentjoy.com/teach, and I'll forward you there. And I'll do those at the end of the live stream segment. So I missed this estimate, but I needed $30 million worth of capital. I've missed that. I've only got 1.8 to $2 million worth of capital that's been invested with me. So I'm in a small fraction of that, but if you look at how much money I'm actually turning over on the rentals, I've exceeded the per unit number. So I posted current company financials. This is for a 1 year update when I had total assets of 192,000. This was for round two. Round two. This actual document that you guys are reading generated another $220,000, and it was just a like a 3-page revision on this in 2014. Then I go into a idea or segment on my business plan of what would it look like once banks like me. This was the worst assumption that I made, that banks will love Hillbilly Brandon and his cheap property buying strategy. They didn't. They did not like it at all, which was really a crappy kind of thing, but it is what it is. So I assumed I made the bad mistake that was going to keep going on, but I had this business plan that I was able to present to investors, and I just kept getting investment money after investment money after investment money, and eventually I kind of said, oh, screw you big banks, I'm just going to go ask more people for money. And I haven't had to do a detailed business plan since 2014. My business plans now are like 4 pages because people trust me. When you start off, you have to put the big work in. As time goes on, it gets easier and easier. Although I've talked to several guys that are, we've got one guy on Discord that has way more properties than I do. And his thing is, oh, you need these kinds of business plans to shop around for banks. But when they do it, they're getting like multi-million-dollar rounds. If you watch Ben Mala, he's really cool. He's hurting right now because he owns hotels, but he kind of says the same thing. You build up this kind of business plan and you go and you ask for $25 million. So this kind of business plan idea will get you in the mindset of thinking about formulating your business plan, thinking about the critical nature of you needing to be able to go and think through your business ideas, because not all business ideas are really good. There's a lot that suck, and I hate to break them to you guys, and you have to critically review through them. So many people think that owning a business is going to be just this cakewalk if you got the money. And I meet so many people that get all the money in the world and they fail. They fail miserably because they didn't critically think through it. And investors want to make sure that they see a return on their investment in you. That isn't to say you can't do it, but you have to kind of have this mindset that you've thought through as much as you can, put it in a document, and try and answer their questions as much as possible. So I have a deal flow idea here, how I identify properties. I don't go into the nuts and bolts of it. I will do that on a teachable live stream segment of how I go in and identify and find properties. I've got some really crazy ways of doing it. I have one of the largest real estate Facebook pages in my state. One of our moderators was on there. I told him I'm like half the size of Howard Hanna Real Estate, which is one of the largest brokers in Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania. I'm like half their size on social media. Then the largest brokers in Central Ohio, I'm significantly larger than them, and I've done it with no money out of my own pocket. That'll be something we'll be covering on Teachable at some point. It'll be free. You won't have to pay for it, but it'll be on there because it'll be another boring one like this one, but it'll be very, very in depth. And hopefully you guys like this kind of content. This is the kind of content that I love to do. I do enjoy the $1 bills. I like it. I like the money, holding the money. It's nice. It's dirty. I had to wash it off with 93% alcohol just so I don't die from the corona. But it's kind of like clickbait. I don't deal with cash all the time. It's fun. It's nice. I feel like Scrooge McDuck. That's nice. But the money is a small aspect of my business. The business plan, that's kind of the day in, day out. So I break down on the business plan how I identify the properties. Back then it was a lot of HUD data, MLS data, VA data, MLS data. Now I've completely got away from that. I don't do it anymore. People call me when it's time to sell. Hey, Brandon, come here. Take a look at the dump. If you watched my YouTube video the other day, the Dollar House video, that was just a call out of the blue. Hey, I want money. Once again, if you have a question, get on Discord, ask it. They'll be doing my super chats and everything like that. So I'll be answering questions here probably about 10 minutes. I don't even know what page we're on. You like my Hillbilly Jumbotron? It's like $2,000. It's 115 inches wide, 72 inches tall. It's taller than me. I'm 6 foot tall, and you can't even see it. Got another like 9 inches up there. It's great. And it's a tax write-off. So when you guys get in business, you can buy a Hillbilly Jumbotron, make a TV wall. You can write it off your taxes. So when it's time to watch MMA or play Grand Theft Auto, you're not going to be playing Grand Theft Auto all the time, but when you do, you can play on TV like this. And believe me, it's fun. So profitability calculations on it. I took rent multiples for just a grand strategy on how I identified properties. Setting up physical inspections, deal flow. So I just explained to people how I can determine whether or not these properties are going to be good, so I'm not wasting my time. I broke down negotiations, how I do that. I could have made it borderless, but it would have been harder, and I didn't. I did not physically install these. My crew did. I paid them $100. So projectors aren't. I am reading comments. I already broke my own rule. Projectors aren't this bright. If you were here in person, they're gorgeous, and it's amazing in person. So we go, there's like 4 pages here of how the deal flow works out, how I expected to get properties. I'm at a point now, I'm blowing this crap out of the water after 6 years. And then I go on, I talk about how we are marketing our properties, how we'll get more people in them compared to everybody else. And then I said, look, when I called these competitors, I looked in newspapers, I looked for physical signs, I looked for like Zillow and Trulia and places like that. None of the big landlords back in 2014 were posting on Craigslist or Facebook or doing word-of-mouth referral programs. I've ended up not doing any word-of-mouth referral programs because as it is today, and it's probably for the past 4 years, I throw a house of mine on Facebook, I have 10,000 people that see it. I live in a county of 72,000 people. I have like 1/10 or 1/20th of the county read my ads on Facebook. And I haven't spent any money on it. It's crazy. Next segment on here was known business risks. How can I screw you guys? How can this thing go in a disastrous way that you lose your money, I lose my house, we hate each other? How can this thing go horribly wrong? And a lot of people overlook, where are the pitfalls? We get enamored, and I do it, believe me. There's none of the stuff that I'm talking about that I haven't done myself. It's easy to get enamored with a great business idea, and then you think, oh, I don't know. I've never really sat down and addressed how this stuff could go horribly wrong. And in this known business risk, I break down where and why the business could go bankrupt, and then what strategy am I employing to do it? How can I fight the market forces? Will there be a downturn? Back in 2014, they were asking, when's the next recession going to happen? I have had that question since 2010. What about the next recession? Back during the mortgage recession, there were all these people that were waiting for the even worse recession, the next Great Depression. The next Great Depression is on the horizon. Any single day, our market's going to get worse, where there's going to be blood in the streets, both physically and metaphorically. This market's going to get worse. In 2013, 2014, I had people call me stupid all the time, saying our market's going to dump any day now. We're in a real estate bubble here in 2013. So I had to build into my business plan, how will I deal with a market recession? What kind of plans can I put in place? And now with coronavirus, we're seeing my plans implemented. Spoiler alert, I was at 100% rent collected, like actually 115% rent collected in April during coronavirus. Two landlords in town only collected half the rent. I was at 115% rent collected because I hustled my butt off with my mitigation strategy during a terrible time on how I can get rent. And I did it because I addressed that problem 7 years ago in the business plan. One of the other risks I wanted to talk about was governmental and legal risks. One of my ideas was talk to legal people, but then get buddy-buddy with politicians, which I've done. It works great. It works great, guys. It's amazing. But to help local communities, when you're an asset to your local community, it's amazing what can happen when people don't think you're a scumbag. I know some of you guys that are trolls, you have your opinion on Brandon's properties and what Brandon does, but in my local community, I'm relatively well respected. At least that's what they tell me. And I'm able to work with government. Sean was telling me he's on a first name basis with the mayor, and they talk about how to solve complex issues in the city. Casualty risks. What happens if a tree falls on our house? And we've had 2 of those this year, and it was, we'll buy insurance. What happens when Brandon gets hit by a bus? Death of loss of management. Brandon's going to buy $1 million life insurance policy. So if he does die, if his wife, takes a pillow over his head and kills him in his sleep, you guys are taken care of because Brandon has a gigantic life insurance policy. Don't tell my wife that. I'm kidding, she knows. But if Brandon dies in his sleep, what's going to happen to the business? Not everybody wants to deal with cheap properties. Life insurance policy. Pay off all the mortgages. Tax risks. Maybe real estate could become extremely disadvantageous. Well, that's hard to deal with. Material and labor costs. Maybe the cost of houses are going to go up severely. So with this being a plan in 2014, I was able to go and take pictures of some of my absolutely beautiful houses. That one's cut off. I don't know how to fix that. Here, let's see. Let's see. Okay, moving around. See that beautiful... crap. See that beautiful house, guys? It's beautiful. That was my first house that I bought in July 2013. I was just finishing up rehab the last part of 2013. I bought it for $26,500. I put $59,500 in it ish at that point. I figured I could make $1,000. It's made $1,000 since first part of 2014. I bought it in 2013. Total market value back then I estimated it to be $115,000. As of today, it's worth $165,000. It's great, guys. So I had a little bit of a track record at that point to go and ask for more money. I estimated the net yearly return to be at 15.45%. I think we exceeded that. The internal rate of return's been gorgeous on it. It's been like 20%. My second property, this neat little place. This place here, I don't know if you can see it, guys. They sold me this place because it didn't have a furnace in it. When Columbia Gas, the local gas company that runs heat for places, when they, let's see, when they went through and installed pipes on in my town, they disconnected this house from natural gas service. And the poor guy that owned this property thought it was going to cost $100,000 to fix. And he said, he tried to get me to not buy the property because he was sure that gas couldn't be connected to it. And I said, I am pretty sure, Mr. So-and-so, that you can call the gas company and ask them to reconnect you. And I'm pretty sure by Ohio Revised Code, they have to do that. Oh no, you can't do that. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, 1, I can get it done for free. Number 2, worst case scenario, I throw in a furnace. And the house was in really good shape. I bought it for $22,150. My estimated final rehab cost was $11,500. It was less than that. I decided, let's throw on a brand new roof on this house. So I only put after it's all said and done, I put $7,000 in it. Current monthly rent, back then it was $600. Now it's $700 a month. Total market value back then was $55,000. At this point, at $55,000 at this point, the house is probably worth $85,000. If I really wanted to put, before coronavirus, after Corona, even now, I'm sure I can get $55,000 for it tomorrow in cash if I needed it. Today, probably it's worth $75,000, but 2 months ago it was worth $85,000 easy. And that property was estimated to return 14.3%. Which is really cool. So that was only the first 2 properties I had. Those both properties, I still have them today. They're gorgeous. I don't sell properties. And then I was looking at properties that were on the market back in 2013, 2014. Man, does that look crappy? It's not too bad on the screen. So this property on Logan Street, I estimated that I could buy it for $20,000. I estimated that I could buy it for $20,000. It sold for $15,000. I estimated I had to put 10 in it. The guy that bought it put 15 in it. So total $30,000. It rented for $600 a month. Right now it's like $700 a month. Total market value back then $45,000. Today it's worth at least $60,000. 15% return. They're making more money on that now. Here's a gorgeous ranch. Man, it doesn't look too bad. So here's our little ranch for $17,500 back then. Rehab costs $8,000. Really disappointed I didn't get it. $650, but it was in a different town. It was like 20 miles away. I never expanded to this area where it is. Then the deal that got away, West Union Street, one of the coolest houses I've ever seen in my life. Oh my gosh! But it was leaning. The foundation was bad, and I'm at the end of this specific business plan, so I'll be answering your questions here in a second. But this place, it sold for $20,000, 6-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage, not a 1/5 to 1/6 acre lot. For our big festival, you can sit in the backyard and watch the freaking bands go by. Awesome place, sold for $20K. They had to stabilize the foundation. I want to say they put 30 grand in it. $50,000, 3,000 square feet. Both the second floor and first floor have clawfoot tubs. The bathrooms are gorgeous on it. Right now, I think they're getting $1,500 a month in rent. That's one of the ones that got away. Some of the deals that you guys get will go away. Sometimes they won't. It's just one of those things where some deals will get away, some deals won't. But I truly believe that if you have a well-formed business plan, that you can do very, very well, and it'll help put your mindset in the place that it needs to be so that you can get investment money. And once again, if Hillbilly Brandon can do it, so can you. There's nothing special about me. Once again, I failed miserably on algebra and English, and now I use them today. Well, I guess I still have my hillbilly communications, but I'm pretty dang good with Excel. So I am going to be going over Discord questions, and then I'll answer some stuff live on the YouTubes. So let's see. Brandon, what's next on the Minecraft server? I don't know. I don't admit it. 2 ideas, make money, constant business, write a book, like both. What do I think you should do? That's not enough information. I don't know your skill set. I don't know what you can do. The business plan link will be on the Teachable website. You just go to investmentjoy.com/teach, sign up. It's free. The business plan will be on there. So, yeah, the file is not on there right at the second because I got to send it to Ashton. I want him to read through it and make sure that my phone number's not still on there. I think that I deleted it, but I had a call today from a guy and said, "Are you Investment Joy, Brandon?" Yes, I am. Oh, okay. I saw your face on your video, somebody that I've known for a few years. All right. So that'll be on there. If you don't see it right now, it'll be on there very, very soon. Let's see. Any further questions on Discord? You guys did not ask a whole lot of questions. Oh, complaints about autofocus. Okay. So I answered all the Discord questions. You can click on the link that Ashton posts. Money, money, money. Yep. All right. So now onto the YouTube question phase. Money, money, money. Money, money, money. This is from my week 38 collection video. This is not all of it. That's only part of it. That's what I could grab. Probably running out of batteries on the camera. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lecture type series. I'm going to be doing them more often about in-depth business ideas so that you guys can start a business. Here's most of the stack. I got some stragglers over there. These are just the ones, and I'm holding down on it. So, yeah. Leaning Tower of Pisa money. Yay. So that was from Laundromat Collection today. The business is up great. So there's 400 some dollars there in ones. So May rent's due today. I think May's going to be fine for me. How many tenants paid my rent? All my tenants paid rent last month. After it's all said and done, because my vacancy, I had people move into my vacancies, and it completely offset the people that couldn't pay because of job losses. I've still got, it's really sad. I've got 2 or 3 tenants that they have been filing for unemployment every day for the last 6 weeks, and they still don't have it. They're eligible. The state of Ohio unemployment servers suck. I'm doing a video on unemployment servers. It might be out tomorrow. They're editing it right now. How much is my investor's money and how much is mine? I only invested $25,000 in the business. The whole company now is worth over $4 million, $4 million-ish. and I'm in 1.65 million in debt, which I'm paying down. The investors get some equity, but it's not a ton. But I don't really talk about how much equity is the investors, because each investor I have gets a different portion of equity, and some don't get any equity. So I don't say, oh, my one investor from Utah, he only gets 35%, because my investor from California, they get 70%. They might get angry at me, so I don't answer those questions. If you have questions that I can't get on YouTube, I don't think we've had a super chat. How much would I lose on the laundromat month if I didn't have apartments? The laundromat would slightly break even. I'd probably make like $100 a month if I didn't have the apartments. But I bought the laundromats because they had apartments with them. We'll be doing content on the other laundromat here very soon. I want to set up a vending kiosk there because it's in a real high traffic area. I made a crap load of money off vending. My nephew's now restocking, or he's going to be. So, how do I manage the rentals? I don't. I don't do a good job. I had 140 rentals. I was okay at managing 60 rentals. At 90, I decided that I was going to start hiring a manager. The first few managers I dealt with, it didn't work out very well. And so then I bought the trailer park, and it's even more management headache. And now I've got a guy. He's great. He's kicking butt with rental management. So now we're at a point that we're finally at this point where the management thing's getting up, because I've got to outsource my management. So working on that. What percentage is ideal if we're looking for dividends returns on the investment? You guys want $1 billion tomorrow? Figure out a way to provide a 14% return to investors. If I go out and I talk to investors and I can provide a clear plan on how they can make 14%, I could get $5 million tomorrow. I mean, I could call like 3 people and I could get $5 million. If I could find some business that would just be a clear cut 14%, you're going to get your check every month. Because then if you can provide a return higher than S&P, and it's relatively the S&P 500 median, which ran like 10%, if you can show a clear-cut path that you can get yields higher than that, you can get all the money in the world. The good hedge fund managers are they're promising 13%, and you got multi-billion-dollar hedge funds out there. It's not that hard to start one if you can show people that you have clear returns. So. Do I use software to manage my rentals? Yes, I do. I use a program called AppFolio, one of the largest rental management companies in the world, and they've got pretty good software. Putting your money instead of spending on flashy cars and flashing it. Yeah, I mean, I flash the money. I hate to break your heart, bud. Low roller, J-Boy. I flash the money, but it's really the secret that your guys are going to hear from the live stream is it's just for clickbait. I don't care about that. I mean, I feel happy, like I said. I feel very Scrooge McDucky when I get my nice big stack of cash, or, I have my prop money. This is real, but I call it my prop money because it looks like $1,000 of cash, but it's actually $75. I love $1 bills. So I have these as prop money. People think I'm rich, which, maybe I am, but I don't. One of the interesting things about the money, the way I do the money, I've talked to some big time YouTubers, and every time you see them flash money, it's fake. I've got this company, and it can't be legal, guys. I mean, it blows my mind. They sell fake money to YouTubers. So when you have a guy doing a music video or whatever, and he's flashing rolls of $100 bills, they're all fake. And they said, let me send you some samples. And I said, don't send me samples, send me pictures. I don't understand how they're legal because they look like $100 bills. So I made the decision, wherever you see money and I've got to display it like this, and the cash bands, it's $1 bills on one side, 20s on the other side. That's a safety thing because I don't want to get stabbed again. So that's just kind of the secret there. You have $3K, invest in the stock market. Will you recommend another type of investment or leaving the market? Leave it in the market. Unless you are totally convinced that you are looking at a business and you have a really clear path to make money, keep it in the market to that point. I know a lot of multimillionaires, that's what they do. They keep their money in the market, then they pull the money out when it's time to buy something they're super passionate about, that they have a clear path on making money. That's my recommendation. How do I find my investors? I don't. It's a weird thing. When I started off, and I've answered this a few times. When I started off, I was like, how do I find rich people? And that was 2013, and Bitcoin had just hit $100 per Bitcoin. And I was like, I'm going to start trying to find people that are rich from Bitcoin. And I started asking people. I said, hey, would you want to ever take any of that Bitcoin money, invest in real estate, and just sell it for USD and then give it to somebody for real estate? And some of these guys were multimillionaires overnight because they had bought it at $1 Bitcoin, or they had mined it themselves and then were just instantly rich. And I started asking people, and everybody wanted to fork over money to me. And so with the first year or two or whatever, I got all this money. And we went through SEC accreditation. I hired lawyers for the contracts. I did all that stuff to figure out how do you do. I found these people that have money. They want to give it to me. How do we make it legal? So that's what I mean. When I say I started with $25,000, a large portion of that money was used to get the legal contracts to do that right. Bounty hunter, property management. That'd be funny. So I do have a little bit of Bitcoin now, nothing like I did at that time. At one time I had crap loads of Bitcoin. I've been Bitcoin since 2011. So that's one of those things that's neither here nor there. Just because 150 people are watching. Wow. It wasn't as boring as I thought, so that's cool. How many rental properties have mortgages on them? I did the numbers the other day. I want to say I have like 15 properties that don't have mortgages, and the rest of them have mortgages or private loans against them. When I say I'm in $1.65 million in debt, only about $450,000 of it is actual bank debt. The rest of the money is from investors, and it's why I like investors way more than banks, because unlike banks, my investors, when coronavirus hit, I had one or two of them call me and say, hey, do you want to stop paying me for a while? I don't need your money, Brandon. You can stop paying me. And I was like, our rental business is going really strong right now, but I'll think about it. How about I pay you in a couple weeks? Oh, sure. Just whatever you want to do, Brandon. We trust you. You think a bank called me? Do you think my loan officer at a bank got on the phone and was like, hello, Brandon. I want you to I wanted you to not pay your mortgage this month. Of course not. They'd foreclose on me. But my investors, they have a different thing. I have a good relationship with most of my investors. I like them. They like me. It's a different relationship than with a bank. A bank, you have to deal with a loan officer who's a glorified salesman. Hey, sorry, bankers, but they're glorified salesmen. And they tell you, we can do this loan for you, Brandon. We would love to loan you money for your real estate company. And then they go to the bank board and like, screw you, Brandon. We don't like your volatile, cheap rentals. So there's this very odd situation when it comes to banks, and I like private investors. That isn't to tell you guys that you shouldn't look at banks or other ways. I also have a lot of seller finance notes. They work great too. I use somebody else's credit and their mortgage history to get a property. I did a video called I bought 3 rentals for $250. That video is on lease options. I'm sure I'll do a segment on, like an in-depth segment like today on those. Would I recommend putting 5% paying mortgage insurance or another to reach 20% down? It depends. If you can find deals that will make up that yield difference on the 5% to the 20%, I would do 5% and buy 4 properties. To me, there would be less risk in owning 4 rentals compared to 1 rental. I know that they would carry more debt on them, but that's how Brandon's mind thinks. Meet Kevin. I open the video and I hear, screw you, Brandon. Yep. Sorry, Kevin. I was quoting you. I'm glad that you didn't get the part before I said, meet Kevin, or I call him Met Kevin, because I've actually met Kevin. I don't call him Meet Kevin. I call him Met Kevin. I said, Met Kevin said, screw you, Brandon. Anyway. Who am I calling Hillbilly? I'm calling me Hillbilly. I'm still planning on taking delivery of the Cybertruck, and we're going to go mud running. I've already got somebody that's going to pay me to participate in a tractor pull with the Cybertruck. Believe me, I'm going to be the biggest hillbilly with the Cybertruck that you guys have ever seen. Do you trust people more than the government? I do. But Ben's Appliances in. Hey, Fast's back. I should be your favorite YouTuber, and Kevin could be your favorite, second favorite YouTuber. Do I ever read Wall Street Bets? No, because I do not like YOLO options, and I don't like reading posts about how somebody bought binary options and gambled away all their grandma's money. I never read those kinds of posts on WSB at all. So, yeah, never read Wall Street Bets, and I'm not on their Discord server either. Poor Meat Kevin. He gets on and he's made fun of in the first 30 seconds. Now he's going to use all those new subscribers to beat me up and delete my videos on his channel. I got like 4 or 5 videos with him. How do I get a mortgage being self-employed? Do you use other properties as collateral? Did you ever work for someone prior to becoming an entrepreneur? I worked at a warehouse. Between 18 and 21, I packed boxes up at Groveport, Ohio at the Gap warehouse. So that's like shoes and clothes and Old Navy and stuff. So I worked at a warehouse, and then the thing is I just realized that having a family on $11 an hour is very difficult unless I wanted to have a wife that was working full-time. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to do that. But everybody's rich in real estate, so I'm going to get real estate. Then I came to the realization that real estate agents aren't all rich, but most of the investors that I ran into, they were very rich. So I thought, I don't need to be an agent. I need to be more of an investor. So then that's when I made that. But see, here's the thing about having a green screen, guys. I can't watch MMA on a green screen. I don't know if you guys have ever seen one. Technology doesn't work like that, but I can put a couch over there on the other side, and I can watch a fight here, and I don't have to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, and it's a tax write-off. So, is it possible to get a mortgage before turning 18? Yes, it is. You could carry it in somebody else's name. I'm trying to get I'm trying to get somebody on Discord who is under the age of 18 some rental properties, and I thought that would be a very fun video to do. Sean knows a kid that is 12 years old, and he has a dozen rental properties. So, I know saying something like that would make me feel kind of awkward if I did not have any rental properties at 12 years old. But, it's all a knowledge-based game. It depends on the knowledge that you have more so than who you are, who your parents are, whether you grew up on the right side of the tracks or the wrong side of the tracks. It's more about your knowledge. And with the internet, you can learn anything. Yes. Buy a movie theater. They're going to be cheap now. We talked about that in my REIT video, how to buy real estate for $5.72 video. I did that's 2 or 3 videos ago. There's probably going to be a lot of movie theaters that are coming up. So make all the tenants sign a clause. They may be videoed. That's illegal under High Revised Code. So I'm not going to go to jail for you. 19 years old kid earned $20K a month on savings. Call Ben YouTube. This fake. Did I watch that video? I didn't. If you're talking about Ben Mala, what you have to realize when I was doing search engine optimization, I was doing websites. There were weeks that I made almost 20 grand. I made like 250K, 300K in 3 months. So granted, I was not 19 years old. I was 23ish, maybe 24. Early 20s, and I was making crap loads of money, but I didn't know what to do with it. And it ended up in this one terrible situation where I didn't know what to do with it, and then suddenly, it doesn't do me any good. It didn't do me good. Now that I have my mind in the right place financially, I can make a lot less money than that, and I can do much better. So, wow, our concurrent viewers are higher now. A dozen properties at 12, money's at 13, just saving money. Yeah, so... And here, my brother and I were collecting cans on the side of the road at 12 to make money. So, I hope you signed up under me, Mr. Bucky 338. Dan Pina says he's got a 15-year-old's turned millionaires. It can happen. I mean, there's a 12-year-old kid that made a application for a military, not in the United States, a different country. And it's saved the lives, or it's been used by thousands of people to help them out. And I read a story about how this kid made this app for iPhones, and he's 12 years old, and the military is giving him all this money for app development. And it's like, oh man, that kid must have a big brain. I've watched interviews of the kid. He's like, no, I like computers. He likes to program. Like I said, I know a 16-year-old kid that programmed his own version of Minecraft. So the picture's getting boring. So. I'm reading questions. On LoopNet, you see commercial that has an annual NOI equal to the purchase price. The tenant has a 4 years less on the lease, 36 years currently. What's the pitfall? I don't know. I'd have to look at the finances. LoopNet, if you can get the documentation on LoopNet, it can be pretty good. You're trying to build a truck stop and a gas station, you need a good business plan. Yes, you do. I looked at one of the business ideas that I've run into recently is a truck stop with a giant truck wash here in Southern Ohio, which is pretty cool. I've looked at a truck wash plus a car wash as an alternative to a laundromat, which would be pretty good. I have cameras in the trailer park because it's a public space. Under Ohio Revised Code, you can't put cameras in somebody's house without their explicit permission, and no one will give that to you. In public spaces, Ohio Revised Code's very nice. You can put cameras in public spaces where people do not expect any form of privacy. Any area that's publicly accessible, you can put cameras on. So that's kind of how it works, at least in the state of Ohio. If you have more questions, I'll get to Discord here in a second. You can get insurance now for underground gas tanks. It is the norm in the industry. And anymore, like, you pay for insurance, and after 20 years, they dig the tanks out and they put new ones in as a comparison to try and rebuild underground tanks. Different between investing in U.S. and Canada. I don't know much about Canadian investment. Is it possible to get a 30-year mortgage on commercial property that's partially converted into living? Yes, it is, with a lot of caveats on there. There's a way to get a 40-year mortgage if you really want to look at it. You could potentially, if it's a mixed-use commercial, depending on what the mixed use is, you could always do like a FHA house hack on up to a quad. I know a lot of people consider quads commercial, but there is a way to do that and get a 30-year mortgage on it. But there's other ways to do it. The answer is yes, but it's very complicated. Google was your friend there. Do you really have to pay MLS subscription? Can you use Zillow to find cheap properties? You can use whatever you want. The MLS is just a thing. I would say 99% of the properties that are on the MLS for licensed real estate agents, and I am a licensed real estate agent, and I am a realtor with the Columbus Board of Realtors. The MLS has a lot of great data on it, but anymore, there's subscription services that are outside the MLS have good information on. Zillow's fine. Don't worry about it too much. Just go out there and start looking at houses. You need more than a good spot for a truck stop to work. Yeah, there's a lot on it. I've talked to people that have spent $50K on, is this place on the correct side of the road? Good written business plan. So you can go to investmentjoy.com/teach and get a copy of my business plan. Did I ever pick anyone to do merchandise spoonies? Yes and no. The merchandise does crappy. It's awful. What do you think of the stocks associated with interest rates completely tanking good investments like AGNC and like the double and triple levered REITs? I mean, I've done well. I've done well on AGNC, but not NRZ. So go figure. A lot of mom and pop truck stops suck. Also, they have majority of drive for what they know. Yeah. The super chains have amazing teams on their truck stops. They have my farmer friend Aaron that I talk about on the channel on a regular basis. He's crazy in terms of his research, and he's the one that was telling me about how a couple agencies had spent $50 to $100K on where should the truck stop go? Should it go on the north side or the south side? And I mean, the data and metrics they had were astronomical. I'll tell you another company that has insane data and analysis is McDonald's. I know a guy that was on dealing with their site survey teams. And he said, oh my gosh, if McDonald's got into real estate investment, residential real estate investment, the whole world would be screwed because their commercial site analysis is better than he'd ever seen. And this was my friend that was the CEO of an oil company. He said, he dealt with Citgo and Chevron, 76 and Valero. And he's like, I have talked to high level guys, and like McDonald's would destroy us on the commercial site. And he owned almost all the subways in Southern Ohio. So go figure. What locks do I use on rentals? I use Kwikset, cheap, crappy Kwiksets. We're looking for some like nice electronic locks, but a lot of them require Wi-Fi, and I don't have Wi-Fi at all my rentals. Any active holdings in cryptos, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Ripple, and somewhere I was telling somebody I have a bunch of Dogecoins. I have like 250, 300K of them still. Somewhere. I don't know where. Meet Kevin. Is your wife sync? That's so mean, Ernie. Don't be mean to Met Kevin. And Slow is sending me a lot of messages. Okay. Slow sent me a lot. One of my moderators sent me a lot of questions, and I'm trying to read them. And it's very, very difficult because I'm trying to think. I don't want to miss your questions because you guys are important to me. Very important to me, guys. I apologize for not looking on the screen very well. Okay, there. Now I can read my YouTube comments and the Discord comments. How many people do I have watching? 176. It keeps going up. I'm just going to keep going, guys. So, quick set smart key code locks and rentals and 1 key to 3 keys. Yeah. Anymore, we're putting lockboxes on everything and keeping a central database on the cloud to make sure that everybody has them. Imagine investing in plexiglass 3 months ago. Yay. When do you think would be the right time to buy investment product with current thing going on? There's never the right time is any time. I'm going to do a video here soon about a property that my brother holds like this one. He bought it in April 2007, the absolute technical peak of the Central Ohio market prior to the real estate recession. The highest price point ever in Central Ohio. He bought a rental just like this for $43,500. He holds it still to this day. He bought smart on it. It has made money almost every single month for the past 13 years. Yeah, April. 13 years this month, or last month. It's May. Holy crap. 13 years he's made money on it at the technical peak because he bought a good investment. On a 30-year mortgage, go figure. Dollar General is popping up everywhere in rural America based on metrics. Yeah, Dollar General has a good real estate team. How long have I been playing Minecraft for? 2012 is when I got in on the alpha of it. I've been playing Dwarf Fortress since 07, 08. So the super chain might invest in your local truck. That's a cool thing. Hit the thumbs up button so more people can see it. Do I ever rent to the VA? Yes, I do. I am working with a very potential large community program on a huge investment deal, potentially. It's crazy. They called me and they said, hey, do you have any rentals? I'm like, yeah, here's my portfolio. Oh, wow. How about we take all of them? And it's over coronavirus. It's crazy. But $5K extra to invest, where would I put it? If I did not have a super hot prospect on real estate right now, I would probably just put it in the market like a broad ETF fund or like maybe a handful of REITs. I really like real estate investment trusts right now. Sign up to Webull where you get 2 free stocks. The link's in the description. Yay. That's what I would do. I'd put it in the market rather than anything real specific. I've done a couple videos here recently on vending. We're going to put a vending kiosk at one of my other laundromats that's not up and running yet, just because it's becoming preferable. I want to say in my week 38 collection video, I had a stack of ones in my Coke machine out front about this thick. Very good on that machine. We fixed the locks on them, so now the machine, I don't have to go stock anymore, which is great. 40K house considered peak in Ohio, man. Yeah. Well, it was, when I say the technical peak, the median price in the county was like $175,000 or $185,000. And he bought a property for $43,500, which was like one of the cheapest properties out there. But the secret was it was in good shape. But not many people looked at it because it was a kind of a not great neighborhood and it was listed on the wrong MLS. MLS districts today work a little bit differently than they did in 2003. So like, I'm in Central Ohio, 20 miles south of Columbus. And in my county, they had this little MLS board that did not talk to the Columbus MLS data exchange. And then there was another county, Fairfield County, one county east of where I'm at. They had a data system that didn't talk with anybody else's data system. So I had this really funny little technique of going and browsing individual MLS systems because you can go online sometimes and get into a broker's IDX system. And IDX is Internet Data Exchange, which means you can go in and see their version of the MLS to an extent. But I knew since their MLS wasn't working with anybody else, I could go in and see if there were any mismatched listings. And that house was a mismatched listing. So can you imagine going to, an area where there wasn't an MLS and trying to find a property, or it was listed on an MLS in a different state? That happened very regularly in the past. It happens a little bit today. If you get on realtor.com and there's a mismatch, it'll be on realtor.com, but it might not be on a specific real estate agent's MLS unless there's a data exchange agreement, and they don't always have those. That's a very complicated topic, but we bought this, I happened to buy this house that was on a mismatched MLS system. So if it was on the Columbus MLS, it probably would have gone for $55K. But since it was a mismatched data system, we got it for $43,500. So that was like one of those funny little tricks we could do back then. HUD anymore has this kind of weird history. Sometimes they mismatch on MLS. Used to be terrible back in the day. You'd have brokers from Cleveland post properties in Cincinnati, and it would only be on the Cleveland MLS. So unless you saw a sign in the window, you couldn't really get it. So do I give advice or training on real estate agents for new owners? Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Teachable. I've got some, and when I say coaching, I say some coaching. If you need to schedule a call with me and stuff, you can do that via the Teachable platform. We're trying to do like private chats where it's like, oh, how do you do bandit signs? Like those signs that say, I buy houses, call 1-800-BUY-HOUSE. I've done those campaigns before, and if you ever wanted like Brandon's Hillbilly input on something like that, I can schedule a call via Teachable. We got a subscription. That's not a requirement. If you get on Discord, there's lots of great guys to talk to, but I'm running out of time. I know I'm on this live stream, so do you have to pay back the money for an unemployment? I don't think you do. I don't even know that you. This is Internet Gold. That's cool. You're from Columbus, yay! I was at Columbus I've been to Columbus one time during coronavirus. I was at Micro Center, off of, was it 161? And boy, it was weird being in Columbus during coronavirus. I like where I live. I'm south of Columbus. So drink less coffee after sunset, Brandon. Why would I do that? I don't drink coffee. I'm just naturally energetic because I have so many wonderful 185. The number of viewers keeps going higher and higher and higher. It's wonderful. Once again, the live stream replay will be on Teachable. It won't be on YouTube. We're going to break it up into kind of like video segments on there. So, do I have any more questions on first look initiative for properties? I mean, if you can get first look initiative properties and there's something you're interested in, it can be good. If you're talking about HUD first looks, I know Fannie and Freddie have their own version of first look properties. I met a guy, 10 years ago, and he had a nonprofit organization, and he was flipping houses as a nonprofit organization. He was getting first look properties like 3 weeks before anybody else was. And he had this really complicated way of paying himself as the, whatever you call a CEO in a 501c3. He was a CEO of a 501c3, and they were flipping houses. It's crazy. And he was buying them just nonstop. It's crazy. How life changed once I started to turn money in terms of relationship with friends. Do I notice more fake friends? Not really. I mean, I'm in Southern Ohio. No one cares. So, plus I don't drive flashy cars. So, do I do auction foreclosed properties? Which kind of auction foreclosed properties do I look for? I don't do it too much anymore. Most of my properties are from personal referrals. People call me and say, Brandon, please buy my house, please. So, that's why I do it. What's first go to look up for properties? I just call people anymore. I mean, I get on the MLS once in a while. How to keep people from stealing on trailer park? That's a good question. I wish I had the answer to that. Where are the investment shirts being sent out? Call Ashton. They should be sent out now. If you've ordered yours and you haven't got it, I'll crack the whip and beat Ashton a little bit more. Foreign VAs, some are not trustable. Have you ever used them? Yes, I have. When I was doing search engine optimization, I had a whole team of people from the Philippines. Most of them I still talk to today. They were awesome. I had a team of 4, I think, that were dealing with search engine optimization. I think I went through 20 to find 4 really good ones. The worst thing about Filipino VAs for me was internet stability. Oh my gosh, some of these poor guys would get flooded. And they said, oh, man, this one poor kid sent me a picture of the house they lived in. There was like waist deep in water. Like, I'm sitting here typing stuff for you for search engine optimization. I'm like, get the higher ground. Please save yourself. Don't worry about this. I'll still pay you. Just save yourself. I'll work hard for you. There were other people that their situation was worse than that, if that's possible, and they weren't able to do stuff for me. That was like one of the weird things. Trophies are in the laundromat. So those are Trippy's, Wesley's trophies. He was a big baseball player back in like the 80s and 90s. So Eli invested in his first rental property. Yay. Do I recommend getting real estate license when you want to go invest? It was great for me because it put me around the right people. My buddy Sean, he has no interest whatsoever in getting a real estate license. I guess maybe it depends on your own personality. It was great for me because I didn't know anybody with money. So it put me in a situation, an environment where I was around people with money. You don't have to, but for me, it worked out really well. And I paid $1,350. I put it on a credit card, and I got my real estate license, and I paid that off with my first transaction. So that was kind of cool. Any investments that I have always wanted to get into, but haven't had the right opportunity? I don't know. I'd love to fail at a restaurant someday. So have a phase going up. No, I did not. Never. Okay. So, do I ever recommend getting... Okay, I answered the real estate license question. Did I report that guy who was beating on my coin pusher to the police? It depends on which one. I've reported a couple of them. We've had 2 or 3 people arrested the laundromat on the coin pusher. A couple of them haven't been. Most of them have made their life miserable by posting them on Facebook. It's amazing. You can get more results out of a tag on or a picture on Facebook than you can with the police. It's a lot of times. At least that's what I have found in my own. So, oh my gosh, I think I've caught up on all my questions. That's amazing. 203 current people. I should probably continue. If you have a question, you want priority on it, go to the Discord. The evergreen Discord link is spoonies.club if you so desire. So I'll do a pop-out chat so I can potentially look at live chat. Oh, wow. Good night, junk man. What is this, Brad Master? I am answering real estate questions. We've done like a lecture on doing a business plan, the importance of a business plan, and why you need a business plan. Everybody needs a business plan because it allows you to critically think about the business ideas you have. Do I like multi-unit homes or single family? There's advantages and disadvantages to each of them. My single family detached, I get better tenants and more appreciation. My multifamily properties, I get much higher returns, higher cash flow. So for me, it's a balancing act between two of them. Of my 140 rentals, I got 32 houses. I've got 46 trailers and the trailer lots, 4 commercial properties, and then the rest are multifamily. It's like 58. I love you, Mike Searfrost. I'm glad you enjoy. What's my favorite fast food place? I don't know. It's going to be somewhere terrible. Well, no. Let's say Raising Cane's. I don't know. What's my best way to de-stress? Is to blow up stoves. Don't read into that anymore. First ever business, it was my paintball business with my brother that we failed at. And we failed at the paintball business because we did not know accounting. If you really want me to I'll get detailed about it because we got more people. Got about 200 people on here. So we were buying wholesale paintball equipment from a company in New Jersey. And back then, they would get you your paintball equipment within 3 days. And what we were doing was we were getting the products, posting pictures on eBay of it, and we were buying stuff for between $15 and $20 and almost immediately reselling it on eBay for $40 to $50. Just little like items dealing with paintball accessories and stuff like that. And that was great money. We were putting in $500-ish a week or so, and we were making $1,200 with it after shipping costs and everything. So you would think a reasonable person would say, scale that, make it bigger. And then we were running what amounts to an online pawn shop. People could send in paintball guns to us. They could mail them to us. We'd give them a quote on what we think they were worth. If they didn't want us to they didn't want to sell their paintball gun to us, we'd mail it back to them. They would have to pay the shipping. Those were two segments we were killing it on. Then every so often we were doing gun repairs, which was okay. Then we got this bright idea. Let's start a local paintball store and sell it to people in rural Ohio, which is dumb. We didn't make any money on it, but as a 15-year-old, we were making all this money off eBay sales, a decent bit of money off pawn shop type sales, some money off repairs, and then no money on local crap. But we liked going and talking to people. So we expanded the local business and we let the eBay business shrink down. And I look at it, and if we would have thrown things into a spreadsheet, we would have had proper accounting. It would have been clear that the local segment was worthless and there was no money in it or very minimal money in it. And the eBay sales were this whole astronomical thing. We were selling products within 24 hours of them being delivered to our front doorstep. We lived in the middle of nowhere. How much of my situation is luck? I don't know. I have failed at probably 20 or 30 businesses at this point. But then, as I learn more about how to conduct business, how to do things properly, I find that my rate of success is increased more and more and more. So, I got the laundromat that gives me gratuitous piles of $1 bills. I own 3 of them. None of them are failures. There's the other 2 that we don't do videos on that are minimally profitable. I don't really make much money off them. I'm not losing money on them. I'm not going to go bankrupt. I've got the other, the main one where I've made almost $100,000 off YouTube videos. So I've been successful with YouTube videos, with my laundromats. I've got my rental business. I got the trailer park that is coming around. I own a newspaper company. I've got a couple other things. I got stock market investments. I've got all these different things that I do. They're generally pretty profitable. That isn't to say I don't fail, but as time goes on, my failure rate's very low, at least in the past, let's say, 6 years. And most of the things I get into anymore, they're pretty profitable. I do pretty well with them. We started up Teachable. I own a profitable Minecraft server, although I just reinvest that money. I do different business segments, and I make money off them. On all of them, though, for the most part, I implement standard business practices, accounting, marketing, try and outsource things. So I find the more I know about business, the more successful things are. I talk to people who run small businesses who are very unsuccessful, and I ask them a series of questions. How are you getting leads? How are you marketing? How are you quantifying your successes? And then finally, can I look at your accounting books? And of all of the businesses that I've talked to, that I deal with that are local, of those 4 questions, failing businesses cannot answer 3 of them typically. They don't know where their marketing is. They don't know how they're finding leads. They don't have any accounting. They don't have any way of quantifying what they do being successful or not successful. And then because then my next statement to them is, okay, scale the ones that are working. Throw away everything that isn't making money. And the local business I deal with don't do that. I've looked at the books on some restaurants locally. I ran into one restaurant that was making net $350K a year. Great. I looked at this other restaurant and everybody said, you need to go buy the blah, 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 blah house. That's a restaurant, big famous restaurant. I said, okay, sure. Send me the books on it. They're losing between $50,000 and $100,000 a year. I said, this is a terrible business, but it looks nice on the outside. And I run into these business people that think they have a good business, but they don't have proper accounting. And this one really famous business had terrible accounting. They had like $75K a year in food wastage. Could have been a profitable business, but the owner doesn't like the idea of keeping track of individual food costs. So, how do I decide between Coke and Pepsi when choosing a location? Just get both. How much am I already answered. The situation is luck. I don't really believe in luck. I believe in standard risk profiles and then doing things till you're successful. What do I use to stay focused, complete projects when I'm so diversified? Angry phone calls. You remodeled your mobile home for 10. Did you do good? You bought it for $2K. I don't know. You'd have to give me an info nugget drop. Hopefully it was good. How do I talk to my investors to invest? I talked about that earlier in it. I broke that down a lot more. Just go to Teachable and get the Livestream copy once it's done. You had one business so far which officially ended last year in November, but it's because you're super bad at sales. So it seemed to be a good idea, ended around 11 months. Yeah, you need to be good at sales, there's a YouTube channel called Minority Mindset, and they've got great stuff. And they have this little like triangle, and it's it's a, you know, you can imagine a triangle, very complicated thing here. If you can imagine a triangle that and I'm looking at this. If you imagine a triangle and one side is knowledge, one side is money, another side's hustle. So knowledge, money, hustle. To be successful at a business, you have to have two of them. You have to be able to work hard, and you have to know that thing very, very well, or you have to have money. And most of the segments in whatever business you do, you have to have two of the three. So you can you're not having the hustle on something and you don't have the knowledge, you can always outsource it with money. If you lack the money, you have to have those two other things in that business segment. If you don't have those two other things, knowledge and hustle, on that side of the triangle, I need to steal Minority Mindset's graphic because it's great. Because it's so true. If you don't have the ability to hustle or knowledge or money, the business is going to fail. You can't have one of those three things, unfortunately. Does the missus get involved with these businesses? Absolutely not. My kids like getting money at the laundromat. Who wouldn't? I mean, everybody loves DuckTales, right? Let's be honest. DuckTales is the greatest cartoon ever. And so everybody likes money and they like quarters. My wife doesn't care. She raises the kids. She's been at the laundromat once. One time my wife was at the laundromat, and it was the day that someone stuffed a bunch of clothes in the toilet. So I had to go there and pull clothes out with a trash bag that someone stuffed down the toilet. It was awful. Any backlash from customers or tenants from some of the things I publish on my YouTube channel? Yes. Almost all the tenants at my trailer park watch my YouTube stuff. They probably aren't watching this. But they watch the trailer park content. I have several of them that get angry because I talk about the trailer park problems. I have several of them that love it, because my goal with the YouTube channel is to be honest, whether it's good stuff happening on the trailer park or it's bad stuff. I just want to tell you guys what the truth is, so then you can make a decision. Is owning a trailer park something I want to do? Should I get real estate? Where are the pitfalls? Maybe I see things that Brandon's doing wrong, and maybe I can implement strategies in my own life, my own business cycle, that I can avoid those things. So I want to be transparent with everybody. You know, there's people, we deal with drug problems at the trailer park. I deal with non-payment of rent. I deal with people not taking care of those trailers. I'm not really going to name names of who's doing what, but I want to be clear that stuff's going on. And I have complaints every so often from people that say things along like, I can't believe Brandon's talking about my dirt. It's like, well, I'm not identifying you. I'm just saying the trailer park. But then I have other tenants that I kind of like them. Yeah, shout out. I kind of like them, and they're like, oh, your content's great, Brandon. They got drunk one night, I guess, and made memes. They stalked me on Facebook, and they downloaded a bunch of my personal pictures, and they're like making memes. I'd be like, will you evict us, Brandon, if we show you some memes we made? They were great. They're dirty. They're on Discord. I can't post them on here, but they're great. You've never got a job from a poor person. That's some political. Okay. So I answered the backlash question. Most important jobs, cheerleader. My wife does a great job dealing with the kids, but my 5-year-old son decided to see what would happen when you shoot a spray paint can at a chair. I had no clue we had spray paint in the house, but he spray painted a chair inside the house. It's awful. When will we be able to play Minecraft on PS4? I don't know. They're working on the plug-in, or so I'm told. That would be great. Is there an accurate site that lists the properties that recently sold? Really, you need to go on your county or whatever your local government office is, your auditor department. They usually, or a lot of times, they'll list sales and data. It usually sucks, but some counties have great. It just depends on your local government. Is there a way for you to invest in me? Sure, Cash App me, or just go on Discord, ask for my Cash App or PayPal. You will get dividends and love. And what's the Pedro quote from Napoleon Dynamite? All your wildest dreams will come true. So just Cash App me money, and all your wildest dreams will come true. Any investments that you will allow us to get in on, you have $50K available for a worthy investment, something you can see and be part of, grow your data into 5 apartments, many houses, you learned a lot. I want to do an SEC accredited real estate syndication. I am actively working on one right now. I would like to do the hillbilly version of Grant Cardone for Southern Ohio and just start going in and buying up all the properties in Southern Ohio because there's just so many of them. That is my goal by the end of the year, to have that implemented so people can go in and buy properties with me. I've already got one bank on the hook who said they will loan money on every property I buy, but it's only at 50% LTV, which it's going to be like the Dave Ramsey hillbilly Cardone syndication. It's going to be real low leverage. They said 50% LTV, 15-year mortgages. It's going to be around 5% interest. So there's going to be some yields on it, but the properties are all going to be 12% cash flow. So there's going to be this nice fat margin to collect. But if you'll notice, my trailer park's not done yet. The trailer park is still a disaster, and I have to get the trailer park done before I do the, hey, let's leverage my YouTube channel to go and buy Southern Ohio. I kid you not, there's this town that I really like. They're really weird. It's like stepping into a time capsule. They still use books to advertise houses. I mean, books, not those glossy magazines. It's like you go to an office or a place and you say, I want to look at houses, meaning you're a homeowner or a potential homeowner, you want to buy a house. They can hand you a freaking book because they don't have computers. I don't know how that place exists, but it's not far from Columbus, Ohio. I don't know how it exists, but it exists. It's like stepping into a time portal to a city that doesn't have Taco Bell. They don't have Taco Bell. It's weird. But they have Home Depot. And I want to buy the whole town because you can still buy a house over there for $15K. Remember this house down here earlier in the light? Well, you probably got, a lot of you guys weren't on it. This house here, it's a ranch. It's a 2-1 ranch with a 1-car garage. That kind of house in median shape, okay shape, sells for $20K. Still today. Weird. I'm blind. Holy crap, guys. Let's see. Oh, this sucks. And you know that I am losing people like crazy. You know, everybody has lost faith in me. This is the most jinky thing I've ever done in my life. Ha! See, this is how live it is, guys. Hi. My camera's out of batteries. So what's happened is my cameras have both run out of batteries, my brand new Sonys, or my new to me Sonys. So what we're going to do, since the live stream is still, I've got all these people on here. I'm going to move my microphone. I'm going to fix the pop filter on it. And we're going to go to my $40 Walmart microphone rather than my I guess it'd be $3,000 if I actually paid real money for it. So, I'm back. You didn't get me, Carol Baskin. I'm still alive. So, yeah, that's because the microphone was up there, and now I'm here. So, I gained 3 people. That's not true. That can't be true. Oh, okay. So I did gain people. That's weird. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I like Pittsburgh. I was in Pittsburgh last March. So I fixed it, and you guys stayed around. That's amazing. So 216 concurrents. I think I got all the super chats too. So anyway, so if you want to watch a replay of the business plan lecture that I just did, you can get it on Teachable. It's down there, investmentjoy.com/teach. We're going to change that font color. This is live, so I can essentially do whatever the heck I want. We're going to fix the text color, so we're going to pick a different color. Let's do black, and let's see what happens. I'm going to try to go black and see if we have to come back or not. Okay. Awesome. Maybe. It still sucks. I don't know. This is complicated. And it's live. I can't cover up my faults on live. So, okay. We'll do that. We'll just change the colors. It's the wonderful thing of social media. There, we fixed it. Ha! Okay, so investing in San Diego, I don't have a lot of advice for expensive California markets, just because I don't know about them. Try to find off-market properties. Meet some wholesalers in your local area. How is my quarantine life going? It's fine because everything I do is considered essential business. I mean, the roads are nice. Have I ever been to Europe? I haven't been outside the United States. What was my first property? My first property was, oh crap, 404 area. Oh my gosh, whoever that was, they asked me a question. They asked what was my first property. It's on this list. This is my first property right up here. Did great. What do you think is the best town in Ohio? Family friendly, safe. Anywhere in Ohio you can make money in. You just have to figure out a great process. So is the title a joke, or can you actually invest? No, I mean the video intention is to talk was to talk about. It's over now. Go to the link there. Download the free business plan. It's about how to form a business plan and get you to critically think about forming a business and investing. I've already had a few people ask about investing with me. I can't do that right now. I want to do a qualified syndication with SEC approval at some point. Last part of this year, maybe first part of next year. But I have to get the trailer park done. Oh my gosh. So, I was describing property. Tell us about your deal when the video died. Now you're curious about it. You guys are going to have to remind me about. I don't remember what we were talking about. Kevin is clickbaity. I have always been much better. I don't know, but Kevin has about 500,000 subscribers, and I don't. So, you know. What's the best way to invest stimulus money, pandemic, unemployment benefits is being saved up? I did a video on buying vending machines. It was how to triple your stimulus check. I think that's the title of it still. I did one on that, and I did kind of like a live view of how I would buy a vending machine for $600, and you can buy a vending machine and all the stuff to stock it with and find a location for free. I like Ohio. I've been to Montgomery, Alabama before. My brother and I did that. So, I described a house. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that crazy city that does not have Taco Bell. So they have these houses, these kinds of ranches here, and you can still buy them today for about $20K. And it's not that far from Columbus, Ohio. I don't want to tell you guys where it is because I don't want you to buy houses there. But at some point, I want to do a video series on starting a qualified SEC, do a qualified syndication. And I want to do a step-by-step process on how you guys start. The average person, you probably don't know what a SEC qualified real estate syndication is, but you probably have heard of something called a hedge fund. And I know this is a crazy thought because I never would have thought it was true. You don't have to go to college to start one. I've never gone to college. You don't have to go to college to start a hedge fund. You don't have to go to college to start a real estate syndicate. You don't have to have that kind of stuff, that kind of background to start a multi-million-dollar real investment company. It doesn't have to be real estate, any sort of investment company. You have to have a good business plan, like we did earlier, and the desire to do that. So I want to do a video series someday on how to do that step by step. But as the video progresses, you see me go in and buy a whole town. Because that city has 50 properties, 60 properties like this one every single year. Gorgeous houses, $20K, and they sit on the market because no one wants to buy rentals. It's amazing to me how many people say, Brandon, I would never do what you do. And it's usually, well, everybody has a price. And they're like, Brandon, you couldn't pay me $150,000 a year to do what you do and manage half of the properties that you do. And it's one of those things that's like, ooh, that maybe that's why there's a housing shortage. There's a lot of people that don't want to be landlords. You know, how many crappy, terrible comments do I get about my cheap houses? I mean, read through the comments if you want to. I don't delete stuff. I almost never delete stuff. Sort by new. Go look at the mean, awful, hateful comments that I get about me being a landlord, and realize that those kinds of people are all in my town. And a lot of people don't want to buy real estate. Not a lot of people don't want to be landlords. A lot of people only want to rent to rich people. And it's like, you know, I don't want to do that. I want to rent to people that are like me, you know, grew up poor or whatever. I don't want to be those kinds of things. So, house put on camera. How long do you think the trailer park's done? I'm hoping 2 months. Gosh, we've already got 10 installed, anchored down and set up. We're waiting on state inspections on the trailers, and it's been difficult to get that done because of coronavirus. For the most part, a lot of the government agencies are closed down. They're just not able to do it. I posted a video, did I buy that house for $1? No, I didn't. I have no interest in that house. I don't want to buy anything. I would like this year to be the year that Brandon doesn't buy any houses, and then 2021 I start buying stuff like crazy. Yeah, it's just I'm such a people pleaser, and I have such a hard time reading my comments because I want people to like me. I want to be loved. And it's one of those things where I read through these comments and it's like, holy crap, what have I put myself into with YouTube and social media and all that stuff to where I have these people just hate me. The battery's not dying yet. I switched my camera to one that's wired. These Sony A6500s, which are really nice cameras, they're running on battery power, and I just realized you can power them with USB, but I haven't done that, so I guess I could. Let's mute that guy. Oh, shoot. Here. Well, I wanted to put you in timeout. There. So. 200 people. I could still answer questions. Do I have any? I need to check and see if I have Discord questions. It's just Ernie saying, reload the stream. So if you ever have questions and you want to get a hold of me directly, you can always get on Discord. I answer on there all the time. They're talking about VIC 20s. Wow. I try to be a good guy. The thing that it's always really weird to me about YouTube and social media, it's like I am such an average human being. It's like I do all the same stuff everybody else does. And all these people, some people get on. I did want to do Twitch the other day, and I did a video. I was playing a video game. Like, I can't believe you play video games, Brandon. I'm like, really? I do the same things everybody else does. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those weird things where, I mean, it just blows my mind that so many people don't want to deal with low-income housing or with, like, even Class B properties, people that have jobs. A lot of people don't want to deal with B-class properties. They want to rent to A-class properties, and they want to have nice houses. And it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, everybody else needs houses too, and I think you can make money off of it. You know, I do pretty good off of it. And they're like, no, I don't ever want to have to clean a toilet. And I'm like, well, you clean a toilet for $500? I would. Would you guys, answer me, guys. Would you clean a toilet? Type in the chat right now. Would you clean a toilet for $500? So, yeah, I'm in the stock market. But answer yes or no. Would you clean a toilet for $500? Where I began my investment, technically it was my grandma convincing my brother and I to buy a CD, which it made no money. And it really turned us off for a long time because we thought, oh, and in order to make money off investments, you know, it's going to take 1,000 years. I'm in stocks like ETFs. I'm in bonds and Bitcoin. I have cryptos. I'm going to try and do videos on that. Okay, everybody, a lot of people are answering. That's cool. It took like 45 seconds. Yeah, our crew's getting a lot better now with rehabs. And it's one of those things where I promise you guys, when these live streams aren't too bad. After about 30 or 45 minutes, I can answer stuff pretty quickly and I can give you guys a quality answer. When I show up to a property and lock the door and turn the camera off, my brain fries. So, like, when my rehab crew goes and there's stuff missing in a property, a lot of the time I don't notice it. Or it's like, oh, I'm not going to make the call right now. I'm not going to turn this video off and go and say, you guys screwed up on this cabinet. Why did you do that? I'm just not good about stuff like that, but I'm getting a lot better on it. If you go and you watch the part 2 of Tenants Destroyed This House, that's kind of the standard we're going to on everything, but even higher than that. I was really happy we did a walkthrough video inspection on a house, and we caught all the crap. We caught every single little issue that I would get a complaint on, finally. Did anybody say they wouldn't clean a toilet? I'm not saying... You can use all the bleach and stuff in the world. Yeah. So going back to the would you clean a toilet comment for $500, I meet all these people that say, I wouldn't deal with a trailer park. I wouldn't pick up a heroin needle. I picked up lots of heroin needles. I wouldn't do this thing as a landlord. I don't want to do that. I only want to have really expensive properties. And the thing is, it's like, I do that. I've picked up, I've probably picked up a dozen heroin needles in 7 years of being a real estate agent or landlord. And I have $4 million in assets. I have all these different things. My business is going okay. And it's like, I can quantify those actions. I've cleaned one toilet maybe. I've picked up needles. I've done some, picked up a lot of trash. I got stabbed by a rusty nail on a board. That sucked. I had to go to Walmart and got a tetanus shot. Walmart has the cheapest tetanus shots, by the way. But so I've done those things, and I can sit down and say, well, I hated it. I did get stabbed in the foot by a rusty nail, but if I would quantify my time on that rusty nail is worth $350. The time I lost, that house I bought it for, the one where the rusty board was, I bought it for $35. I've put $15 in it, so my basis is I owe $50,000 on it. It makes $650, and it's been rented forever. Yeah, what, September 2015? It's been rented since September 2015. So $350 a month, that it probably makes $200 a month cash flow. So one rusty nail for that house. And you can quantify those kinds of weird things that happen to you. But you talk to people and they're like, I don't want to deal with any of that. Like, potentially you can make more money with a higher end real estate. It is a little less stressful, but I want to get the deals. I want to make money. I want to get these properties that are printing cash. But not everybody feels that way. It's really weird. And I asked a lot of people to quantify, would you clean a toilet for $500? And it's weird because the people that I talk to, it's like split down the middle. It's like half the people say, I would clean a toilet for $500. The other group of people, they say, I don't want to clean a toilet for $500. I wouldn't ever do that. I would not clean a toilet for $10,000. And I'm thinking, man, you must have one of the most privileged, wonderful lives ever, because you have never needed $10,000, or you don't want $10,000 to clean a toilet. Am I a celebrity in the area? Nope. What's the worst property invested in? That's hard to quantify. Do I have tenants complain all the time? No. I've got several tenants that are regular complainers. They complain all the time. And it's like 4 people out of 100-ish, maybe. Maybe 4 people give me a complaint every single week. The rest of them don't, very rarely. But it's also one of those weird situations where you've got to try and get people to complain every so often. I've got this video. It's from a house where they did not call me in 4 years. And it has the most roaches ever. Let me see. This will be a sneak peek. Sneak peek, guys, at the roach house. I want to try and get the picture. I don't want to spoil it. All right, cool. It loaded up. So I'm going to give you a little peek at the roach house. And they did not call me for 4 years. And is one of those things. After a while, you kind of get committed to a deal, and they're like, I told them I was in there like once, and I'm like, this house is a disaster, and they kind of begged me and said, we don't want you in our house, Brandon, and you, when they say that it's a disaster, it's going to be a disaster. But it's also one of those things where it's like, I was making no money on the house. There we go. Found it. I think it did. Really wasn't making any money on the house. Is that it? Shoot. I'm watching videos right now, trying to figure out. Oh no, that's Sean's house. Shoot. So they never called me on the house. They never told me that there was a problem with the house. And essentially, it was just this terrible situation where now we get the house back. It truly is a disaster. Oh my gosh, it's a mess. It's terrible. And we get it back, and it's so full of roach crap. It's just amazing. I am trying to figure out. Okay. Here, I'll show you this picture. Can I tell you guys a secret? I pretty much denied somebody because they had this on their profile. I won't go to jail for that, right? You guys will keep my secret, right? This person was a train wreck. Can you see it? They were a train wreck. And I have this thing on the channel. You know, the real fans will know. And I said, I was looking at their rental application. I was like, if I go through their Facebook profile in 1 month, I will find a live, laugh, love picture on it. And I know that I shouldn't deny somebody for live, laugh, love, but they're a train wreck. I was like, there's going to be one on their Facebook profile. And I found it. I found it. And I denied their application. Not just because of live, laugh, love, but it was just constant. The guy that I'm applying with beats me. I think I can refuse a rental application on that. I think that's a legal thing that I can say. There we go. Found the roach house. Great. So paradise once again, guys. So on this roach house is such a bad disaster. I'm not going to post in a 2-part video because what I'm going to do is do a video and then just immediately it'll be like a 30-minute video. I already shot day 3 on it. And what I want to do, show you guys like, oh my gosh, this house is just a freaking mess. Okay, yeah, there we go. This is the nastiest thing you're going to see today, guys. I'm sorry. I hope you're not eating. There. Okay, so this here is the ceiling of the kitchen. You should be able to see it, I think. I just can't see my live view. This is the ceiling. That black stuff there is roach crap. There's little highways on the ceiling and on the walls of roach crap. And it's this insane thing that people live this way. And yes, we're fixing it. Yes, it's going to cost me unbelievable thousands of dollars. But people live like it. And it's like, to me, you've got to go in and deal with these kinds of situations. Nothing will ever get better. $600 for the vending machine. So it's like, oh, we'll make money off this. But then we've got to go in and figure out, why did the person live like this? And hopefully try and rectify situations. And it's I deal with this stuff all on the thing. Monthly cash flow. I just did the Excel video. Go and watch the last video on the channel. And I posted the monthly cash flow and I showed you exactly how much it was. So, 4 years, never wondered what condition a house would be in. I saw it. The weird thing is, the dirtier the tenant is, the better they have. Better they do at hiding things. Like they had stuff on the ceiling, stuff on the walls, and you'll see it in the full video where they had the walls covered up, and we pulled the crap what they had on the walls, and it's just like all this nastiness behind it. Crazy. If I had $100K in the bank right now, Would I buy a 100K house or 100K houses with 20% down? I'd buy 500K houses, because what happens if something terrible happens to the one house you have? You're kind of screwed. But if you have 5 houses, you're going to have some risk deferral. So, with the vending video we did recently, you can actually go on there, and I did some live breakdown of how I find vending machines. But going back to the roach house, you want tenants to complain every so often. I guess my maintenance guys have been in there, and I did not know the extent of how nasty it was. They said, "Oh, this house is nasty," and it's like, "Oh, okay, well, that sucks." It's like, "Oh, wait, this is terrible. This is terrible." Yeah. The under the sink, because roaches are drawn to moisture, and if you have a sink that leaks a little, even just one little drop every day or two, it causes roaches to migrate there. That's how it was with this place. And the cabinet is almost brand new. I mean, well, it's like 5 years old. It's very relatively new, relatively recent. You can't see the wood bottom of it because it's completely full of roach crap. I mean, it's a disaster. But we'll fix it. It's already looking good. But it's just, it's what I deal with, and I make money. Either way, Josiah Tools, do you want to see me eat garbage? I can eat garbage for you, Josiah Tools. If I drink enough alcohol. Is that a good enough shoe nice? I'm worried that I'm related to him, because I've had a lot of people say, "You look like Shoe Nice Brandon." I'm like, no, I don't. I've never heard of this guy before. There's no way I look like him. And it's like, oh crap, yes, I do look like him. So I commented on one of his videos, and I said, "Hey, I hear that." Let me try and fix this. I hear that you and I look a lot alike. Are you related to anybody in Ohio, Mr. Shoe Nice? And he said, "Go F myself." So I'm worried, he might be related to somebody I'm related with in Ohio. So I don't know. You're trying to Rickroll me. They screwed over the Rickroll videos, because they, with the Rickroll video, they now have an ad, so you see the title. Tax benefits definitely depreciate those homes. The loan interest, yeah, you can depreciate almost everything. I can depreciate Hillbilly Jumbotron. So. Rental manager for 15 years. Nothing can surprise you now. Yeah. I've got it. My maintenance guys, I asked my one maintenance guy what's the worst thing he's ever run into, and I did so bad I don't want to repeat it. It's so far beyond dead animals in a house. So, check on the place conditions periodically. You can, and I don't understand why that one was never checked. We're wanting to do 2 inspections a year, and in order to force people into letting me in a house, they get like a rent bonus if they let me in the house. Okay, I can't even change my stream latency. Sorry, guys. I was going to up the stream latency, so I can't believe it. I mean, I do these live streams, but the delay that YouTube has me on right now, it's like a minute delay. So when I ask you questions or say things on here, it's like it's on such a terrible delay. So I apologize for that. If we could do something else, it'd be great. So people are sending me messages and they're being deleted. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I have no clue who DIY Nexus is, but he's a mod and he's telling people to thumbs up. So thumbs up, guys. Cybertruck, no. I'm on like the Tesla subreddit and stuff, and from what I hear, right now they're just trying to find a location as to where they can build the Cybertruck. They're considering Texas, I guess, which is kind of cool. But it's kind of up in the air, especially with coronavirus. They're probably going to lose 6 months to a year on it. And people are mad at Elon now because he said some mean words on the internet. I'm not going to go into that because it would be terrible. I would lose a lot of subscribers if I talked about what exactly he said. But if you want to find out, go look at it. And so people are angry at him now. So I think it's going to be 6 months further. So it'll probably be 2022. House or trailer park, if you're starting new clean property, just houses. I like the idea of starting small.
I was telling him, I think I told my investor on the trailer park, if I had the option, I could go do it again. I would not have bought the trailer park. I would have just bought 50 more houses. I love houses. My houses are straightforward. I know how to deal with them. Even the roach disaster that we showed a picture of a little bit ago, I would rather deal with I'd rather deal with a dozen of those than the trailer park. The trailer park's very depressing. Follow me on Instagram at Investment Joy. You like your privacy, large deposit to have them not do inspections. I mean, that can totally work. A lot of tenants love their privacy, and I totally understand that. I get that, but man, it can become so expensive in the rental business, and then you have to mitigate for situations. Like I've been in some crazy houses, with swastikas and guns everywhere and stuff. It's like, oh, this doesn't faze me. So I know, some tenants that I've dealt with or rental houses that I've been in. It's like, oh yeah, I don't care about this stuff. I don't agree with what you have here, but it's like I need to see if you're destroying the place. That's what I care about. And then some people they don't want their landlord in their property. And there are dirtbag landlords. I know that's going to shock some of you guys, or it might shock you guys that I would say that. But there are dirtbag landlords, and so I understand the deposit thing. So as you're streaming, property manager sent me a picture of new stove, front glass all smashed, bone bar pulled up. Says side property manager told me it just blew. Thoughts? It can happen. My brother runs an appliance store, and don't beg for subs. You'll get put on a timeout. With a glass top stove, those things can explode in catastrophic ways. So it is something that's heard of. Just broken glass. Yeah, you could ask my brother on Ben's Appliances here on YouTube, but he could probably answer you. Yeah, high-end condo. Yeah, totally understand. Hopefully I've answered. I'm tired. Hopefully I've answered everybody's questions. The average rent for a 3-bedroom in your neighborhood is $2,500 a month. I saw the census data in my area is like $850 a month. So go read what Elon said. It's about COVID and it's about the governor of California. He doesn't like the governor of California. So if you just the side door, talk to my brother about it. I don't think he's on right now, but under Ben's Appliances, you might make a comment. Do I have to remind my tenants every month rent is due? Yes, I remind all my tenants that rent's due. I've got like 35 tenants. They're great. I probably had a dozen people pay rent already. I mean, they paid rent before the first, which is just totally awesome. Very appreciative of that. But then I have a lot of tenants. You have to freaking remind them. So I should invest in exercise. DIY Nexus. Who was? I think. Oh wait, DA was okay. So DIY. I have not worked out at my gym deal in 6 weeks now. So I don't know. Last time I tried, I could deadlift about 350 pounds. So I could almost deadlift you. Not quite, but I could get there with some practice, DA. So sorry. Anyway. What differentiates a high-end mobile home from a cheaper rent mobile home? There are different building codes that mobile homes are built to. After 2006, really, there's no difference between a mobile home and a stick-built home, a non-mobile home. After 2006, they changed the drywall code. They changed insulation. You have to build with 2x6 walls. So they're really, really nice. Between 94 and 2006, you got some nicer ones. You got some crappier ones. Kind of the differentiation is if it doesn't have a metal roof, if it has a metal roof, it sucks. If it has a shingle roof, it's kind of nice. Then before 94, I think it was 82 or 85 to 93. It's kind of the same thing. You have to look. There are some mobile homes that have no insulation in them, and it's really, really crazy. You missed the start of this elevator speech on the 400K. I built a business plan and strangers gave me money. There you go, Ryan Thompson. Thanks for subscribing. But if you go to investmentjoy.com/teach, you can get the replay of the live stream. And then my editor is going to go through and redo the live stream. I do not keep my live streams on YouTube because YouTube hates live streams. I can't say that enough. Do I give discounts if they pay before the date? Just late fees. We're going to go to a model where they get a discount if they pay early. We just haven't done it yet. Will I ever redo the roads of the trailer park? Absolutely. I just have never dealt with a repaving company before. I have done roads before. There's a very inexpensive way to do your own roads, but it's usually really short juts that we do, really short like lanes and stuff. And I just don't know that I could do it on the entire trailer park. I had somebody say, "Oh, just call the company that does the municipal roads, and the next time they're doing the main road right in front of your trailer park, ask them to dump all the extras in the trailer park, and sometimes they'll do it for like $1,000." But it's like, oh man, I don't want to go out and talk to road crews. So it's something I'd like to do. So yeah, if you have a more pertinent question you want answered in full detail, just get on Discord. Spoonies.club is one of the evergreen links for Discord that does not change. So it's a situation where you can ask me a question on there and have it answered potentially privately. We are doing, I am kind of like doing one-on-one consultations. We have something called a mentorship program. It's like $50 a month if you guys want to join. It's on Teachable. You can do the investmentjoy.com/teach and get a link there if you need to have a private conversation with me about goals and whatnot. So this channel turned into a passive income scam real quick. No, it didn't. The problem is I want to make some money off YouTube. And then here soon you guys are going to see what I'm doing with my YouTube money. I mean, I built the Hillbilly Jumbotron behind me. But I'm trying to do other things that are really important for the community so you guys can actually see that I'm just not taking your money and buying I can't say that. I'm not buying snow and ladies of the evening with my YouTube money. I'm doing good stuff with them. And my personal income situation's to a point where I don't really need a lot of money off stuff, but I want the money anyway. But I would like to invest in the community and do things like that. So, yeah. Upgrading electric and wiring inside gauge up also pays for itself. 3 years you can pay for electricity if you pay for electricity. Yeah, I mean, it might lower the resistance in the lines, so that could definitely be a good thing. So 185 concurrent viewers. That's amazing. But yeah, I would like to get the road situation fixed up nice. I've still got 200,000 ish sitting in an account right now for the trailer park still to spend on it. It's just I have to make sure everything's right. So, yeah, there are a lot of electric rebates. Some of them you cannot get as a landlord. Sean Oliver is right. I stopped myself from saying what you were saying because I get demonetized. I get in trouble if I said that. That's always the joke that I tell people. It's like, oh, that's what you're buying. Ladies of the evening and snow. No snow. With your money. And it's like, for me, I don't drink. I don't party. I don't do anything fun. Other than build a Jumbotron with Samsung 6 Series TV so I can watch MMA with my friends and write it off on taxes. That's like the most interesting thing I've done this year. Other than walk down the road like 200 times due to coronavirus. So it's like, I don't do anything interesting. I don't need money, but I want to make money off YouTube, and I can get paid for my time. It's amazing how many messages I get every single day from people on YouTube. I checked it. I'm over 100,000 contacts now since October on YouTube and Instagram and Discord. Over 100,000. I could have a full-time job just answering questions, and essentially I would not make any money off of it. I'm putting all my Raid Shadow Legends and Ridge Wallet money on a big community project here soon. And you guys get to play your own role in helping improve the lives of other people because you watch my YouTube videos. And we're going to do some videos, and so you all get to play this wonderful part in the fact that you've watched, you've bought products, you disabled ad block on my content, did stuff like that, and we got mentorship programs and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to scam anybody. I really want to provide as much value and information and stuff to you, either cheap or free. And it's just one of those things where I don't have any time. I mean, I'm doing a live stream now, and there's 281 people watching it right now. It's nice, but I can't do live streams every single night. I can't do content every single night. I can't do videos every single day. I might try to. I'm trying to get to a point now that I can do, like, shoot 2 hours worth of content, make several videos off of it, and then just go do the rest of my day. You know, the dumb stuff that you probably don't want to watch. Health insurance for me and my family. I pay cash for everything. There's nothing passive about the income I earn in the rental business. If you don't want to work, investing in real estate isn't for you. No, the complaint they're making about passive income is they're trying to say. And it's why I did the Excel video, if you guys haven't watched it. Give me a second. I want to show you something. I'm coming back. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Okay, you can leave now. See, you can't even see my face. I made a real life Excel spreadsheet. See, it says Excel. I made a real spreadsheet. I had it 3D printed. I spent a lot of money on it, and I made an Excel spreadsheet so you guys can see exactly how I'm making money, where the money comes in, where the money goes out. And it's a really fun video that I posted about 4 hours ago. You guys should watch it if you haven't. But I want to be fully transparent with you guys so you see where I'm making money, where I'm not making money. Am I making money? Am I losing money? And I want to do it in a fun fashion so you guys get interested in it. But I don't want to lie to you people. Because, like last month I made $12,000 off YouTube, which is insane. It's great. I made $14,000 off of 140 rentals. Which cash you want to see? So I made $12,000 off YouTube, $14,000 off my real estate career, which the $14,000 honestly is low. I should have made a lot more money off of it, but I screwed up. The trailer park's not done. Once the trailer park's done and all my rentals are performing, we should be clearing $25 to $30K a month. Now that money doesn't go in my pocket, it goes back in reinvestment. So here's the cash. Here's ones from the last collection. And then I've got my non-prop cash, the stacks, but they're not they're only partially fake because they're 20s on the front, ones on the back. Because unlike YouTubers, there's a lot of YouTube guys that I'm being told that are using totally fake money. Like it looks exactly like bills. But it's from Chinese counterfeit companies, and they've contacted me saying, "Hey, do you want $100 bills so you can do your money collections and you can have like $100,000 on screen?" I'm like, "Can you send me a picture of what it looks like?" I mean, it's got to be illegal. But then several people told me, "Oh yeah, that's what everybody does. It's all fake." So it's only partially fake. And realistically, what I want you guys to do is to get in the mindset that you could start your own business. And you could have, Scrooge McDuck levels of at least ones in your life. Because, if you grew up as a poor kid, this is your fantasy. This kind of thing. And I've got more than this. I've got probably a stack of ones I got probably 3,000 in ones now, just sitting somewhere. But like as a poor kid, this is a fantasy right now. You watch DuckTales growing up, especially if you're a millennial, you've probably watched DuckTales before. And I'm living the fantasy. So coin pusher business, very good money. So why shouldn't I selling stuff? I don't know. Either way. So how I made my first move for passive income? I mean, you'd have to define passive income because to me passive income is a scam. I talked to somebody and it's like if I want to do a YouTube series, I'll do one on how passive income is a scam. And then someone said, they're using the IRS definition. I'm like, well, I guess I can't argue with the IRS on what passive income is or is not. And IRS defines passive income where you're essentially making money and you don't it's not direct labor. So real estate is passive income. A vending machine is not passive income, but if you own a business, it is. So do I read the chat? Sauce silence. Yes, I do. So it's one of those things where I'm trying to level the clickbait and not be too crazy. But, if I can do the Scrooge McDuck money thing, I'm going to. Because I'm not stupid and I like the YouTube money. But there's so much incentive for me to lie to everybody and say, oh, the real estate money is making, my real estate properties are making $50,000 a month. Buy my course. My apartments make all this money. Buy my course. Do this. Buy my course. And I'm not saying that I'm going to sell a course at some time. I'm going to do real estate programs and education. They're going to be cheaper than everybody else. They're going to be better than everybody else. But it's also one of those things where it's like, I talked to a guy that has a YouTube channel, and it's 1/3 or 1/4 of the size of my channel. He heavily promotes courses. None of you guys know who it is. And he makes $35,000 a month off of it. And he runs a real estate company too. And the real estate income is like this. It's this teeny tiny little baby amount of money he makes. Little bit of money. And then the course sales. $35K a month. And then he does speaking engagements. It's even more money. And he's like, Brandon, why don't you have a course? Why don't you do this? I'm like, because I'm stupid. That's why. And it's, I'm trying to balance my time because I'm out of time. Like I said, 100,000 comments and messages since October from YouTube. And I can't deal with it anymore. So it's like, how do I get information out? And that was the purpose of Livestream Night. It's like, we're going to do a course or a thing on, a business plan, boring business plans. Because a lot of this business stuff that I like talking about that I think everybody needs to know is so boring. And it doesn't involve giant stacks of cash, clickbait stuff. It talks about, doing math and Excel videos. And not 3D printed Excel videos either. Not every video involving Excel can use my big giant Excel spreadsheet. Sometimes we'll have to use the real deal. Can't always use the cash machine. Because they can't do it. Yes, this is live, Joxy. So, wasn't Meet Kevin. Wasn't Meet Kevin at all. Like I said, it's a guy that you've never heard of. Almost guaranteed. No one on the channel's heard of him before. But they messaged me, I talked to them, and they're like, "Oh, you should sell courses, Brandon." And how many of you guys would sell? Let's be honest here. Here's another question. It's not cleaning toilets this time. If you had to produce 200 hours worth of content, 200 hours worth of videos on all of your life experiences, and it would make you $500,000 for the rest of your life, would you $500,000 for the rest of your life? Would you do it? Yes or no? If you had to make a 200-hour video course about all your struggles and failures and your successes in your life for $500,000 a year for the rest of your life, would you do it? Yes or no? Most of you, if not all of you, have already said you would clean a toilet one time for $500. One of you guys was really filthy and said you'd clean it with your toothbrush or something like that, or even worse. So, I paid for my thing to be 3D printed. I went all out, hand drawn 3D printing. Where you guys do it? So I have several high rollers say, Brandon, if you don't have a course, you're losing $500,000 a year on yours, and all you need to do is package up your successes and your failures in life and talk about it honestly with people, and you'd make between $350,000 and $500,000 a year. So that's the money I'm losing out right now. But I advertise Ridge Wallets, and I got paid to play Raid Shadow Legends, which was fun. But all that money's being piled up in an account somewhere, and I'm going to try and invest that money back in my community and do videos and things like that. So, I would like to think I have a good heart, and I'm helping people, even though it might not be in the way that everybody likes it. But then I also have a lot of people who are like, "Oh, you're a terrible human being. I can't believe you have ads. I can't believe you're trying to sell me, wallets or." I don't know if any ads that I've got really big complaints on. I've got a anti-drop shipping video. That'll be real fun here soon. So. Yeah, I've been on here for a while, so. You don't have monetizable life experience. Here's the thing, you don't have to. You can lie about everything if you really wanted to. Yeah, I mean, that's a totally easy way to sell a course or sell a program. And the thing is, though, I've also talked to all these people that are big course buyers, and they think they absorb courses and they love courses. You know how... Okay, here's another vote time. So I've spent 2 or 3 days with Meet Kevin, or Met Kevin as I call him, out here. He's a really cool guy in person. I know a lot. I got a lot of overlap. People that watch Meet Kevin, which meet my channel. As of today, of all the people that I've talked to about Kevin's course, how many people do you guys think I've talked to that said the course was a scam? Anybody want to take a guess? I'm not being paid for this. I asked him and he said no. How many people do you think I've talked to that said they didn't like the course? 0. Everybody loves it. I've talked to. I've talked to like a dozen people that ponied up $500 for it. So and it's just one of those things where there's the reason that YouTube channels go that way with courses is because a creator can make crap loads of money off of their financial knowledge and experience, or they can do consulting, which I could do probably make $200-300 an hour. But then I convert my time to money. I make another job for myself, which I'm trying not to do, but 0. Once again, I don't get paid to tell you guys that. I asked him and he said no. But I don't, unless I actually just talk to somebody that I haven't. Everybody I've talked to has been happy. Even that one guy on our Discord, I'm pretty sure he said he liked it. But I had like 4 people, like immediately after I was on Kevin's channel on all those videos, like, when's your course coming out? Because I want to buy it. It's back in November. Brent does have a course. Yes, Teachable does mentorship, where he calls you on the phone and asks you about life's finer questions. So, yeah. It adds to my legitimacy, but according to a lot of people that watch me on YouTube and stuff, I'm not legitimate anyway. I'm a hillbilly, redneck, SOB slumlord from Ohio who's fat. Let's see, who's fat, not really wealthy, in loads of debt. When the recession hits, I'll go bankrupt, even though I collected 115% rent during coronavirus in April. I get all these complaints. And then, realistically, I should say, well, those are just dirt bags. They're just people who are miserable, sad sacks of crap. But it also gets to me because it's like, how do I convince those kinds of people that are miserable, who complain to me, how do I get those people to kind of get on the mindset of, hey, I'm not lying to you. My sole intention on this channel is to never lie about anything, not to fake anything, just give you guys exactly what it is. If I'm posting the numbers for the Minecraft server, my merchandise, my influencer marketing. I can't tell you how much Ridge pays me on these wallets. I can't tell you guys how much Raid Shadow Legends paid me. I can't tell you how much Weeble paid me. I can combine it together and tell you guys I made $12,000 in. Did I make $12,000? Yeah, $12,000 in April. I can tell you guys how much money I make as a pool, but I can't tell you exactly how much Raid Shadow Legends paid me. I wish I could. Because I can't do those things, but everything else that I don't have a contractual obligation, I want to do. No, I have not been to college. So, but the thing is, one thing that's interesting is YouTube's purged my channel here recently, and I lost like 5,000 subscribers ish. So. I know a lot of people would lose trust in me if I sold a course, but at this point, I don't have enough time. And it's like, oh, I want to do a course. I want to do a course so bad right now, but I don't have time. So the live stream stuff's getting packaged up and thrown on Teachable for free at this point. And then, people who do my mentorship program for like $50-ish a month. And if they want to do it, they don't want. If they want to, they can. If they don't want to, they can. Yeah, the problem is I'm a people pleaser. I try to make people happy. Even my tenants that smoke or I'm thinking. You see the smoke come out of my ears. Even my tenants that partake of the rock, I want to try and be on a good relationship with them. I've had people I've evicted that I have a good relationship with still. I'm not saying we're friends, but it's like, oh, they're, hey, dirtbag that caused $8,500 worth of damage on my house and locked your dogs in the closet. Hi. Hey, I'm glad to see you again. How's the kids? They still doing good in school? They doing good in school? Still cheating on your spouse? Okay, cool. Nice to meet you. Happy to see you. I have several tenants I've evicted that I have a relationship like that with. I have others that run me down on social media, which is, that's to be expected. But it's just this weird conundrum where now I'm on social media and now I'm trying to optimize my income, make more money, and make sure that I don't give up all the time on my family, my kids. The reason that we were I wanted to start this at 10 o'clock. I started it at 10:30 was because my kids wanted me to put them to bed, and I did. I put my kids over my YouTube channel. But also, during coronavirus, I'm very concerned about my rental income. Even though we did so great in April, I keep thinking, oh, it's May, it's a new month, it's a new disaster waiting to see what will happen. So, if I lose that much property, how can a property be profitable? It wipes out so much. So, here, let me see something. Didn't see that. Okay. So, we're going to go over live and the magic of Excel. Let me see. You can see this on my head. Okay, cool. So, we'll change the columns. You didn't see what it said earlier. Okay. Do the columns. Purchase price. Let's see. 35,000. Rehab price. I can't spell. Let's say holy crap, I'm bad at Excel. $7,500. See, my IQ's terrible. I could have this whole spreadsheet done in 30 seconds. So rehab price. Total in. There we go. My keyboard's not even working. Holy crap. So 42.5 in rent. $800 a month. This is real estate magic here. Rent year. You guys should know Excel. B92 times 12. So $9,600 a year. Cost basis. My all-in cost basis is 35%. B93 times, this is magic, guys, I promise. B93 times 0.35. So my cost basis on that specific rental is, so I'm answering a question live here. Oh gosh, you can't even see those numbers. Okay, my fat head needs to move over. Okay. Okay, so rent, cost basis a year, $33,500. That's what cost basis is there. So my net operating income on that rental is B93 times times 0.65. Real estate magic here. So on Brandon's Dumpy Rental, where the tenants lock their dogs in the cupboard, it's supposed to be a pantry where you keep food, not dogs. Don't do that, tenant. Don't do that. And they did. I won't tell you which video it is because I like the people way too much. And they have wonderful kids. I love their kids. Holy crap. If I could steal them, I would. Because their parents are very weird. Very, very odd problem. So net operating income is $6,240 per year on this property. This column here is NOI. So they screwed me and I lost $8,500. So equals $8,500 in total destruction they caused in my life. It's going to take me 1.36 years. It's going to take me 14 months to undo the damage. There we go. It's going to take me 14 months to undo the damage they've done in my life. 14 months will be on that specific terrible, awful situation with locking the dogs in the closet. Will be done July-ish this year, let's say. And I will now be broken even on that property, and the damage they caused will be repaid. So I'm not 22 years old. I missed that whole thing because I was typing in Excel. I am 34 years old and I have 4 kids. I have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old boy who's somehow still alive. He's insane. I love him, but he's insane. and a 18-month-old baby. So. Did I answer your question, Ed McLean? I know my big head. Uh, Purchase price, rehab price, total money invested, monthly rent, yearly rent, cost basis, taxes, insurance, um, capex, repair and maintenance, net operating income, and then this one is after $8,500 worth of damage. How many years will it take for me to break even on their damage? And not every property. I mean, I've had probably like half a dozen disasters in 6 years like that that are just make me cry. So they didn't get free rent from 14 months. They went a month and a half, 2 months, let's say. So that would be tacked on to the $8,500 loss too. But and I have a good relationship with them. I have other tenants that they didn't destroy the property, but they got me for like 4 months of rent. And they run me down on Facebook, and they're like, "Brandon's a freaking slumlord. He won't fix anything. Our furnace was broken for 6 months, and that scumbag landlord didn't do it. Here's a picture of our furnace. Our thermostat was set at 80, and our house was 40 degrees inside." They had their gas shut off intentionally and used their electric stove to heat the house. They didn't call me when the electric stove broke. And then I found out 30 days before or like maybe 3 weeks before the court hearing that they had been heating the entirety of the house with an electric stove, and they didn't even have hot water because it was a gas hot water tank. And that's how they gave their kid freaking baths. They would take a bucket or a pan of water and heat it on the stove, then pour it in a 5-gallon bucket, and they would wash their little 2-year-old boy in a 5-gallon bucket of stove water and cold tap water because their parents wanted to go on Xannies. Do I get demonetized for Xannies? I'm angry now. You guys brought it up. You were at the worst of me. Because their parents, we use that term loosely, their parents wanted Xannies and weed. Didn't want to pay Columbia Gas on heating bills. I never secure judgments. It doesn't make any difference. My average tenant's like 4 years. Wife doesn't help with the business. But here's the thing, guys. Read through my comments and see how many people call me slumlord and how terrible of a human being I am. See how many messages have been deleted in this live chat. A lot of them have been deleted. Not all of them. 95% of them are fine comments, great people. I know there's some people begging for subs, which I'm not a fan, but that's not mean. What, half a dozen people already called me fat and like, you're stupid, you're a fraud, you don't really have any real estate and all this stuff, and it gets to me to a point. But it's interesting to me. I'm in this real world, in a real place in Southern Ohio. I'm a real person. I'm not a computer-generated thing. Would a computer really want to be a Southern Ohio hillbilly? And I deal with all these situations. And it's like, I want to shoot YouTube content on it and show the world what a landlord deals with. And hopefully people can find some meaning in their own life through the crazy situations that I do and things like that. Fourth Ward Debt Webby, I won't mention your question, but no, I'm happily married. Yeah, facepalm is terrible. I facepalm a lot. Yeah, the kids, I feel terrible for the kid. The kid was the sweetest little kid ever. I hope CPS kind of snatches them away. Anyway, for future entrepreneurs, we were going to college or starting your career 4 years earlier. It depends on the career. There's things that I would recommend college for. There's other things I would say don't go to college for. I'm big on skilled trades, but skilled trades aren't for everybody. Thank you, Brian, for following me since 5K subs. They're not for skilled trades aren't for everybody. There's things you can do as like side hustles and businesses you can do real well. I'm big on hauling trash for people. You don't need an education for that. So, That don't pay rent, destroy property. Yeah, they probably are. I wonder how many people are like, "Oh, this place is a disaster," and when they're typing in their big giant mounds of filth. I do lots of Section 8 housing. Section 8 is a great program. I have very minimal problems with it. Real estate prices developing next year in your area. I think my area is going to be fine. I don't think nationally. I'm worried about GM and Ford. They could potentially close down due to coronavirus or have some very severe problems. I'm already hearing we're going to do a cash for clunkers deal, which I'm not a fan of government intervention on a lot of things. Holy crap. I'm not a fan of government intervention on a lot of things, but I know to an extent it's going to be one of those things where if they don't intervene, it's going to be very problematic for, we'll change this around. It'll be very problematic for the big auto manufacturers. I'm a big Tesla fan. So Ford and GM going under is not going to upset me too much. But it could be hazardous to, especially northern Ohio. Holy goodness. So, where will rent prices go after this pandemic? I don't know. I wish I had a crystal ball that I could look into. The only crystal that I deal with is a drug. Yeah. I wish I had a crystal ball that could tell the future. Let me be clear. I am talking about a crystal ball, not another kind of crystal rock. So, HUD there's advantages and disadvantages with HUD. Everybody right now is so big on HUD. They're like, oh, HUD is going to save real estate. HUD is so great. But people don't remember last year in the United States, they cut off funding to HUD. And every landlord that was on HUD was getting calls from their Metropolitan Housing Administrators saying, hey, this is going to be your cutoff date. This is when you're not going to get any more money from us. And if the sequester, whatever it was last year, would have gone on just a little bit longer, I was 3 days away from being cut on my HUD rentals. So during coronavirus, people were like, oh man, you can make all this money off HUD. And my HUD rentals are doing great right now during coronavirus. I know Ben Mala has talked about his HUD rentals, I think, are doing great during coronavirus. And yeah, they are. It's guaranteed money from the government, as long as the government doesn't cut you off. So HUD has advantages, like the money's from the government. HUD tenants tend to stay like way longer than fair market tenants. But then you're also relying on the government for money, and they can go in and do whatever they want to. They just passed this thing where you need hardwired carbon monoxide detectors in HUD rentals, which is fine for me. I've had carbon monoxide detectors since 2013. And their deal was if you use non-hardwired carbon monoxide detectors before the due date, you're grandfathered in. You don't have to worry about it. So I've passed that test on everything. And but man, there's a lot of people that are freaked out because you have to buy $50, $75 HUD detectors. Or not HUD detectors, CO detectors for HUD rentals. You talk to a person, we got to spend $150 to have them wired in like Metropolitan Housing wants, like HUD Section 8 wants. $150 per CO detector times 100 rentals, $15K. HUD and Section 8. HUD is the government agency that administers a program called Section 8. Section 8 is a housing choice voucher program where they will give a certain person, and there's different ways to get a voucher. You can be a veteran, a disabled veteran. There's certain kinds of drug recovery programs you can get a Section 8 voucher for. And the Section 8 program is administered by Housing and Urban Development. Housing and Urban Development also has non-Section 8 programs where they have internal properties that they actually directly own, and it's government housing. So there's kind of differentiation between Section 8 and HUD, but you talk to people on the street, you're walking down the street and you say, hey, Section 8, and everybody's like, oh, you talk about HUD. So it's usually interchangeable. There's some finite differences, but it's pretty much the same thing. What about the ground for outlets? Does HUD require that? Yes, they do. And I'm not going to go into any detail on how the cheap fix for that. So I can't remember if there's a cheap fix. I'm not sure if it's legal. I'm not going to admit to that on YouTube. But yeah, they require grounding screw on everything, and yet it has to be workable for the most part. So, How much money do you have available in cash before you buy your first real estate property? It really depends on if you have enough time. If you have enough time to go in and fix tenant problems, you can have less cash reserves. If you can't do that kind of thing, or you're trying to do it remotely or something, realistically, you need to have more cash reserves. It's so hard for me to tell somebody, oh, this is the dollar figure you need, because my market outside Columbus, Ohio is different than most of the other markets. So you've helped property owners with HUD runnings. That's replacing doors, windows, lead paint, Section 8. I would love to hear from you, Brett J, on that. I have not been paid a dime from HUD on fixing up my properties. There's a couple credit programs I've done. Specifically, they're called community action programs, where they went and did some insulation and furnaces for me. I think I've had 2 free furnaces from that program, and they did some insulation. Then the tenant smoked crack, and they left the house and didn't come back. So they didn't finish the jobs. So I'm interested in those programs. So yeah, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. But I imagine a lot of you are the true believers, and you're already subbed. So be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. I would appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. We've had some terrible CO detectors. I've had a couple, one brand. It's like we bought like a dozen of them, and like 1 week, almost all of them failed. And when they failed, it wasn't like a friendly chirp, 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 go, chirp, chirp, get batteries, chirp, chirp, buy a new CO detector. It was call the fire department. Your family's going to die. Die in your sleep. And it was that kind of alarm. And we're getting called at 2, 3, 4 o'clock. Brandon, my family, my babies are dead. Brandon, oh no, the CO detector's going off. We're all going to die. I called the fire department. And the fire department goes in and says, these stupid CO detectors are going off all over town. It was a bad batch we got, and we're going everywhere, and we're just ripping the CO detectors out. It was nuts. Of course, at 3 o'clock, I want to be woken up a bit. It only happened like once or twice, but 3 o'clock in the morning, you want to get a call. My babies are dead. Oh, gosh. No, not the babies. So, if a tenant trashes a house on Section 8, the government, I hear there's a program to get reimbursed. But from what I'm told, realistically, you can get them removed on the voucher for life. And to me, that's more advantageous, where you can go into somebody and say, hey, look, you're never going to get this ever again in your life. Section 8 is a great program to be in for the tenant. Great program for the tenant. You don't want to lose your voucher. And I've had 2 or 3 tenants that have lifetime bans, or former tenants that have lifetime bans from HUD, because they did something stupid and they lost their voucher for life. So Section 8, like in Southern Ohio, our government agencies are very active at trying to combat fraud. And you run into a lot of people like, there's no way they're trying to combat fraud. And it's like, with Section 8, man, they've got some bulldogs. Holy crap. I had to promise one of the Section 8 workers that I would not reveal their deep, dark secrets on how they did things. But man, it was awesome. Am I next to meet Kevin? I'm not next to met Kevin. Have I seen Daredevil? I don't think so. Health Department handle those funds for lead mitigation. I've had to go through a lead mitigation before, and it was a disaster. I hated it. Holy crap. I spent $10,000, and to be honest with you, the lead mitigation that was approved by the state of Ohio was a ripoff. I could have gone in and done it myself for like $500. The only one, that I've talked about that house before. What was so it made me so angry about it was I bought a house, and federally, this is in every state. If you buy a real estate, you have to provide a document to the person buying it saying whether or not you're aware of lead paint issues, lead paint hazards in the house. And there's a couple choices, and it's essentially, I don't know anything about this, or yes, there's a problem, and here is the information. You can sell a house with lead issues, but you can't lie about it. And I bought this house where some poor kid had been poisoned by lead, and they did this test on the house, and they determined that it came from the house I just bought. And so I got this nasty letter from the state of Ohio Health Department, and it was like, Brandon, you're trying to poison children, and we are going to go after you. And I called the Ohio Department of Health. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, oh yeah, you got the nasty letter, didn't you, Brandon? I'm like, yes, I got a very nasty letter. You guys are going to try to kill me and put me in jail. I'm like, no. We send really, really serious letters to people because they don't care about lead poisoning at all. And I was like, look, I just bought this place, and yet you're telling me that there's some kid's been poisoned? Like, oh yeah, 2 years ago, some kid got poisoned. And the guy that you bought it off has rented to 2 other people, and he would not fix the house. And they're like, you need to get it fixed. I'm like, okay, whatever. I got a really good deal on the place. I will fix it. Tell me what you need to do. And they're like, yeah, it's going to cost you $10K, $10 to $15K to do it. I'm like, crap. But I had the money for it, which is good. So we went in. We spent $10,000 on it. I'm pretty sure the crew that did the lead paint mitigation thing was drunk, and they drove a bobcat into my house. They broke the porch off. They tore up a concrete sidewalk, which I have no clue how you could tear up a concrete sidewalk unless you really tried to do it with bobcat. And it's awful. Kevin says, do lead mitigation yourself, get the certification. He is right. You should do that. I did not do it because essentially the state of Ohio told me to go get it done ASAP. If I ever get close to needing it again, I'm going to get the certification. It's like $1,000, $1,200. And really, all the stuff makes sense. It's like, don't be stupid. Clean up after yourself. The one thing that they want you to do, and it's a really great thing anyways, we're like running a high volume HEPA filter, a whole house air handler during your rehab project. And my guys made a whole house HEPA filter. It's like the coolest freaking thing. They took a 5-ton blower off a gigantic old furnace from the 80s, and they took a stack of HEPA filters, and it's like, oh, this is a chemical warfare grade HEPA filter system. It's awesome. And it's like, oh my God, the air coming out of that HEPA filter's got to be like 100 miles an hour. It's like I was standing in a hallway 20 feet away from this blower, the air handler they built. It's like, it feels like a jet engine blowing you off. It's like, oh, this will suck the paint right off all the walls with the lead. So, cash available for out of say investing with ranges similar to Ohio. I mean, it depends on whether if you're out of state, you're never going to be here. Make sure that you have enough money to cover a lot of like the next 3 years CapEx. And I don't know what property you're looking at, so you'd have to look at the next 3 years worth of CapEx on it. Just make sure you have some reserves. Did I buy the house next to the crazy cat lady house? No, I did not. So, business finance degree, you're not trying to make money with it, like real estate, be an investor, but you know how to scale up with business finance degree. I don't know what you learn in a business finance degree. I would imagine you could make money as a freelance accountant. Can you do Excel? I got a wonderful video on how you make $50 an hour with Excel. So, it should be out maybe tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Maybe tomorrow or Sunday. I got it. Poor guy had them destroy a double wide. Oh, it's 1:30. Holy crap. I'm going to finish this live stream up and see how much money Webull is going to pay me today. Sign up for Webull and get 2 free stocks. I'll post that gratuitous link here. We actually have a guy on Discord that got like free Apple stock. So there are people there that you can get really nice stocks with Webull if you sign up and deposit some money. And the reason that I like Webull so much is it takes 3 minutes to sign up for a LibreOffice is great. It only takes like 3 minutes to start a Roth IRA. And if you want to chat, you can get on Discord and talk to people. CapEx is short for capital expenditures. So when you get a house, you buy a property, or you're looking at real estate property, and you go and you do your walkthrough and you look at the hot water tank. That's a big ticket item. And you can look, most people, or an inspector or contractor or whatever, can look at a hot water tank and they can say, hey, look, The average hot water tank in this kind of property is going to last 12 years. It's at year 6. So you've got 6 more years on a hot water tank. So you sit down, you figure out, okay, 6 years left. The tank replacement's going to cost $750. So what you do is you say, okay, $100 a year I'm going to set aside for that capital expenditure, the hot water tank. Then you get on the roof and you look, oh, it's at year 10 of 20 years for the effective lifespan of this roof. The roof replacement's going to be $5,000. So over a 10-year period, you're like, okay, I've got to set aside $500 per year for the next 10 years to replace the roof when that comes. And then you go through and you look and you can segment for plumbing. You know, you look at the furnace. Oh, the furnace has another 15 years. That's going to be $1,500 or whatever. So $100 a year. So you can figure out what the big ticket items are going to be over the next, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and you set aside a percentage of your money or a certain number each month or whatever pay period you want for those big ticket items so that they don't sneak up on you. It's one of those things that kills a lot of smaller investors because the time comes for Mr. Roof to be replaced. If you go down and watch my $1 house video, the P House video, that's 2 videos ago. You go and watch my P House video and you see that nasty, awful, terrible roof. That was an investor. An investor bought that house back in 1999 and the big ticket items caught up on him. And it was this cascading effect where just the whole house ended up with holes everywhere in the roof. And it's a disaster. So you need to make sure that you have money allocated for the big ticket items. It's one of those things that gets a lot of really big real estate investors. Now, having said that, it should not scare anybody away from buying real estate or older houses because you can quantify what those things will be. I promise you, you can look at a hot water tank and say, oh, it's got some years left. Oh, this thing's crap. It needs replaced now. It's relatively simple to figure out those numbers and go and do it. So, my wife does not help with my business. Education is good, but experience is the best. I agree with that. Trading stocks. I don't trade stocks. I buy stocks. I bought Tesla, Apple, Disney. I think I bought Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Walmart, just like the big blue chips, Apple and Google. And I looked the other day, I'm already up like 30%. That's great. Bay Area. I will be at the Bay Area, I think, in October. Well, the EPA did it for free. Around here, it costs money, so at least what I've looked. The live stream will be on Teachable. Just go to investmentjoy.com/teach. It's free to sign up to watch the replays. We'll be doing content every so often here on YouTube, but a lot of it's going to go... Yeah, Tesla went down today. We'll do a lot of content on Teachable just because, I didn't look at the chat log a lot during my lecture on business plans, but man, there were a lot of nasty comments, and I'll get sidetracked. Teachable is a really good website, and if you want to copy the business plan, you can get on there and get it for free. So, and my grandma, she had a hot water tank that was like 30 or 40 years old. It was awesome. So. At some point, I'll do my own lecture video on just CapEx. I just buy and hold for a long period of time. I don't trade. Most of the traders I know go broke. I do know traders, and I do know a few option guys that do well, but they're in such a small minority of people. It's crazy. Any other questions before we get off? We have... How many people watching? 173, and you guys are so quiet. Subdividing land and selling lots. It could be a good strategy. There's a company in my area, and they made tens of millions of dollars doing that. They'd go and buy a 50-acre parcel of land, and they would break it up into 10 5-acre parcels. buy the land for, let's say, just an example, $100,000, and then after they parceled off and sell it, they would sell it for $250K or $300K. Airlines, I don't know. I guess so. They'll probably all get bailed out by the government. So, city do I live in? I'm 20 miles south of Columbus, Ohio. I won't say the name of the city. I don't live in the city, but I'm really close to it. Go look if you really want to know. Go look at a map. 20 miles south of Columbus. Figure it out. I love pineapple on pizza. I'm sorry, guys. Pineapple and ham on pizza is like awesome. Malls, the only kind of mall thing that I would love to do someday is a shopping mall to housing conversion. Like I talked to a guy about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we need to do that, Brandon." And this guy's worth way more than I am. I want to go and buy a mall and turn like half of it into condos or housing for seniors, and then keep the strip malls there, the retail units inside the mall there. And like most of these old malls have food courts. It's like, oh, you could go, the older people there could go and eat lunch in the food court and stuff, and do mall things there. They can go get exercise and go do stuff. So then the mall and the retail shopping stuff has a built-in tenant that can go and access that stuff, for the forever. And then you have residential housing that's also keeping up with commercials. There's a giant mall near where I live, and my brother and I used to go there all the time, and we still go there once at a time. And it got foreclosed on. The company that bought it years ago mortgaged it for like $45 million, and it's not that nice of a mall. And everybody's like, "Oh no, the mall's collapsing. I can't believe the great mall outside Columbus, Ohio is going so bad. Oh, it's such a terrible, malls are failing, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, I'm at this point in my real estate career, it's like, hey, send me the books for the mall. And I contacted the company that was trying to liquidate the mall. I called them, and they sent me the financial documents for the childhood mall my brother and I love. Guess what, guys? The mall was making like $600,000 a year. $600,000 a year the mall was making. Still today, in this environment, this economy, is still making money. But the thing was, it was so poorly managed, $600,000 in profit didn't mean anything. The mortgage on it was $3.5 million a year. They were paying all their bills, but only throwing like a little chunk of money to the $45 million that existed. And the bank was like, "We're not selling it for a reasonable price. Screw you, investors. We think as a bank we can manage it." So, you like black mushrooms and black olives on pizza? I like that too. I I'm gonna say I like, but I will eat anchovies on a pizza. Senior housing, absolutely. I guess I didn't realize Ben Mall did senior housing. Senior housing is a wonderful thing. Do I have a store in lock? Not yet. See, the mall that I wanted, Sean and I were like, oh, we could probably put together a bid on it and find investors at $15 million. The top bid for the liquidation auction ended at $17.5 million. So, Hillbilly Brandon and Hillbilly Sean were $2.5 million off from what a big investment firm with a good track record of fixing malls. We were $2.5 million off from them, to our favor, not theirs. And the thing is, with it, we heard by the wayside the bank that owns the mall countered this investment company trying to save the mall outside Columbus, Ohio, at $35 million. And it's like, oh, there's a little bit of a difference between $35 million and $17.5 million. So, TV series, Star Trek. Anything Star Trek. So, try to read the comments. For pizza, well, pepperoni jalapeno. I mean, I don't know of any pizza that I've eaten that I didn't like. So, do I like Little Caesars? Heck yes. I love Little Caesars. $5. What's there not to love about $5? The trick with anchovy pizza shows you how cheap I am. This is a good thing for Brandon's cheapness. is when I was in a youth group, or when I was a teenager, I was doing youth group stuff all the time. And one of the things is, you go to a pizza place and you'd say, and most of the teenagers were like, oh, anchovy pizza, and I would say, oh, anchovy pizza is great. And it was always a way for me to get a free pizza, because they would order, oh yeah, we've never had anchovies before, let's get anchovy pizza. And then they would get and hate it. And they're like, oh, this is nasty. I would get a free pizza for myself, because no one wanted to eat it. I'm like, Brad's going to eat it, take it home. So I'm glad you enjoyed Michael Daniels. So that's my thing with anchovies pizzas. It's a really easy way to get cheap pizza. My dad used to go to some place like upstate New York that had really good anchovy pizzas, and he'd bring them home not all the time, but he brought several home with us. They had like 24-inch pizzas. Star Wars fan base. Star Wars is science fantasy. I like science fiction because it could happen someday. I like Star Wars. Not as much as some people, but I enjoy it. We've got it. We're supposed to watch it on Disney Plus here soon with my kids. So, yeah, anchovy pizza is very salty. If you don't like salty things, you won't like it. It's not fishy. It's just super salty. For a 15-year-old, I would say the most important thing is just find something to invest in. Just find something to spend your time on. I know how many hundreds and thousands of hours I spent on video games when I was a kid. Maybe not so much a 15-year-old, but 8 to 12, 8 to 13, 18, 14. Spent so much time on video games. It's like, I could have learned some skills that would have really had long-term benefit, and I didn't. So, glad you enjoyed it. Make sure, I know I keep pitching this, but if you do the link up here, investmentjoy.com/teach, and sign up, you'll get an email. And like I said, we're not really selling anything on there. It's just a centralized location to do emails and stuff from, because YouTube does not, even if you hit the notification bell, and this is our dirty secret about YouTube, even if you are on the notification bell system for YouTube, there's like a 20 or 30% chance you will not get a notice. And even then, 30,000 people on YouTube right now are on my notification system on the bell. Yet when I post a video, like in the first 24 hours, less than 10,000 of them will get them. So it's like 1/3 of the people on notification bell get them. So it's really one of those things. And Michael Parker says that you should invest in a mower. If having a good work ethic is invaluable. I'm going to freaking do a video on just about work ethic. Show up, do a good job, things of that nature. Just how do you invest with me? If you have over $1 million, get on Discord and I'll give you my phone number. I want to do a real estate syndication at some point and take on investors, but that's a year away. I have to get the trailer park fixed. And I'm not there yet. So I depend. Tobias asks about whether financial education in schools is any good. The problem is, there's a lot of schools that have terrible, if any, financial educations. There's also schools that do Dave Ramsey. And I'm not this huge Dave Ramsey fan, but like 90% of what he says, I really do like. His investing advice, I don't like. And he's very anti-loan, anti-mortgage. And I'm not completely against them. I kind of agree with him on credit cards. I do not like credit cards. Graham Steffens, this big guy on credit card rewards. I don't like credit cards rewards at all, because they incentivize you to buy things you probably wouldn't anyway. And maybe it's my poor nature, but if I have a credit card, it's like, just hand the plastic over it. When I have cash on me, I think about it. And Dave Ramsey always says, if you have cash in your hand, you'll think about it more than plastic. From people like Bumpkin Brandon, Dave Ramsey's absolutely right. So I run into schools, at least here in Ohio, that they teach Dave Ramsey in financial courses. And I think that everybody should go through Financial Peace University with Dave Ramsey. Don't accept every single thing. Don't join a cult of Dave Ramsey, because there's people that just worship the ground he walks on. Don't do those things, but realize the information is pretty good, and then go on YouTube and watch some other guys. I really like Minority Mindset. He's great. Graham Stephan, I do like it in drill. Since split the difference between the financial gurus and me. And so there are schools that teach that. And I've talked to people that go to those classes. I have sat in on Dave Ramsey classes in a school setting. And I said, man, you guys are so lucky. You're getting taught Dave Ramsey. That's great. And they've come up to me like, what do you mean, Brandon? I'm like, Dave Ramsey's good information. I'm very happy that you're learning it. I didn't like it. What part didn't you like? I don't know. And guess what, guys? I find out that like 50% of the people that do the Dave Ramsey classes in school didn't even pay attention. And yet, 20 years later, they'll be the guys sharing memes, guys and gals that are sharing memes on the future version of Facebook saying, I can't believe we didn't get taught this stuff in school. And there's definitely schools that have no education on finances whatsoever. But I'm pretty sure those kinds of people are the same ones that are sleeping through the classes right now. I'm sure there's blame that we could place on the U.S. education system. But man, to me, it's like there's not this culture that is built in school systems or whoever you want to blame. We don't have this culture on long-term thinking. We have a culture, unfortunately, of people wanting to watch rap videos with Ferraris and lots of money. And it's the reason I have money in my videos, because it's clickbaity. People want to watch it. People want to see Brandon fan through the money like Scrooge McDuck, rub it all over my face and get coronavirus and all this crap. People want to watch videos of money. It's, to be honest, like 99% of you have subscribed to my channel because you wanted to see how much money does a laundromat make. And I want to know. I would want to know too. But we have this culture where we want to look at the money. It's enticing. The money's enticing. But we don't want to look at the spreadsheets, the spreadsheet numbers, and go through financial information on spreadsheets. This is fun. This isn't. And somehow there has to be a way to get people interested in the culture of investing and finances and money and things like that. There's got to be a way to do it. I think that YouTube's the way to do it. So that's why I do live streams and I'm wanting to do all this stuff. So that's where I want to be. That's why I have a Minecraft server. That's why I do YouTube videos. That's where I want to do. That's why I clickbait with money. It's why I do that stuff, because I want to get people interested in the money. If you ever see me driving a Ferrari, I might do the Ty Lopez thing and rent a Ferrari for a day and make you guys think that I own it. But it'll be for a point. If Jake Ryan 95 wants to send me $400K, he can Cash App it to me. I'm trying to see. Have I seen Endgame? Yes, I did. Endgame was good. Infinity War was better. So, closing accounts lowers credit score. Don't worry about credit score. Holy crap! Hello from Japan. Yay, Japan. Konnichiwa. I talk to your language. Maybe no, because you're talking English. So hey. Anyway, between 5 and 10 points away from 800. I'm only at a 700 right now. So. Schools are brainwashing kids with some guys who just got out of college because be socialists. I don't know. I run into a lot of teachers that they don't care about the kids. All they want are benefits. So, yeah, it's 220s. There's no ones in the middles. It's just 220s on the front, and it's ones on the back. Because I've already said 2 or 3 times in the video that most YouTubers use counterfeit cash, and I actually got contacted by a company in China that makes like counterfeit money. They're like, you need to do what the popular YouTubers do and use our counterfeit money. And they sent me pictures of it, and I'm like, there's no way that's legal. It looks real. Like, it'll even pass a UV detector in the pins. And I'm like, this is a scam. It's illegal. But I want to have stacks of cash for the clickbait. So, 20s on one side, $1 on the back. I'm from Southern Ohio, so this is mullet money. Party in the front, or business in the front, party in the back. There we go. It's mullet money. So, and at some point, my my mullet money is going to have a really bad experience with a lady from Tampa, Florida, and my money's going to end up in jail. So, the tip for you cool cats and kittens. So, now, I'm not a fan of MLMs. I have $100. No, there's like $400 here in ones. Like I said earlier in the thing, this is the ones from just the laundromat collection today. It's crazy. So this is my pile here. I got my cash machine over here. I moved it from. I think you can see it. I moved my cash machine from the laundromat here, so I can shoot it here because the laundromat's so busy. I don't want to get robbed. So I threw all the money. My deluxe coin. Have you guys seen my new currency accepting device at the laundromat? I bought one. Doesn't have any money in it now, but it's my new currency accepting device at the laundromat, so I can be more discreet as compared to a Lowe's bucket. I can fill up a Lowe's bucket with cash now. So, yeah, I don't have an OnlyFans yet. After the course, it's the way to wealth. YouTube or Instagram, YouTube, then the mentorship, course, OnlyFans. So, you bought house before investing in or after? I don't understand what you're saying. Any haircutting place is open. You're growing a mullet. There's a reason that I shaved my hair off. And I was going to do it 250K subs, which I'm not at, believe it or not. But I tried to cut my hair because it was looking so raggedy and all the barbershops are closed. And you can go to a black market barbershop, but kind of weird. And I tried to do it myself and it didn't work. So 651 Ireland, quick recap. Just go to investmentjoy.com/teach, sign up, and you get the full live stream for free. Because it was 45 minutes. The first 45 minutes was just on why you should have a business plan and how to build one so you can get money like crazy. So my hair's weatherproof. What are you talking about? Okay, guys. I'm tired. It's almost 2 o'clock. I should go home and sleep on my couch. Because I'm sure my kids are already in bed. Or I've already taken over my bed. So 3.5 hours. The longest one ever. And my editor is going to get... I will check Discord real quick. Doing exporting from Las Vegas. We'll begin YouTube, Patreon for more additional income than real estate. A little different here. Yeah. Japanese real estate laws are kind of crazy. I know a little bit about real estate laws in Japan, and it's just every country's different. Every country's different as far as legality goes. So no questions there. Not since hour and a half. So, Japanese laws on real estate are very different than the United States, and every country's different. So, well, if you would have seen how my hair was on how I trimmed it, it would be very obvious why I shaved it all off because they did such a terrible job. So, I still don't understand your question. The home I live in, I did not rent it before I moved in. So, yes, Void. Yes, Mommy Void. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to get my nappies. So, I'm glad you enjoyed Jeffrey Hunt. Please get sleep. Tomorrow's Saturday. So, this is all a dream. Yeah, we will edit the video down for the business plan if I rambled on too much to make it better. Yeah, I have GTA 5. I will be on the VC on my way home. If you want to do a voice chat with me, get on Discord on my drive home from the studio because I don't live in the studio yet. I will get on voice chat and we can chat there for the next 15 minutes. So, switching from earned income to passive, feel good spreadsheets besides monthly balance sheet, yearly passive income. Can I recommend? We'll do a segment on Teachable on Excel And the cold hard truth, in Brandon's opinion, about Excel is you need to learn to do the calculations yourself. They're not hard. You need to be in your mindset of making the calculations yourself. They're easy. If I can learn it, having failed algebra, you can do it too. I promise. Yeah, the abandoned houses in Japan are interesting, but from what I've heard, there's like some of these places that require like historic conditions, or there's historic requirements, and in order to get them for cheap or free, because Italy has a similar program, it's just really kind of weird how they do it. And the weird thing is, the United States has them too. Here where I live in Ohio, the government can give you a house for free. You have to fix it. And you will wish for death if you want to fix it up to their requirements. So cool. Opening of turkey season in PA. That's awesome. I'm going to leave you guys with a fact that not many people know. And since this live stream is going to be cut off, now everybody's going to know it. Okay, real quick. And we're on our 30-second delay, so I'll give you a couple seconds. How many of you guys have watched Tiger King? Which I'm a big fan of. How many of you guys have watched Tiger King, like the whole thing, and pay attention? You can get cheap houses in Detroit. I'll give you a minute to answer. Nuts and bolts of running a business. The problem is, like with that, I'm still waiting on the answer. But the problem is with that question is it's not going to be a one video. It's going to be like probably a 12-part series on running a business. I'm going to have turkey. No. One trailer local PD. I offered it to the sheriff and they don't want it. No one's watched it. Hornets only watched 3. One person has. I guess maybe everything's different on YouTube. Almost all of my friends on Facebook have watched it. And a lot of the people on Discord, we've had, they've asked me questions about it. So Tiger King, it's like one of my favorite shows. So, spoiler alert, turn your volume down. So part of Smallville, yes. So part of Tiger King, a lot of people get mad at the fact that he was getting in trouble for feeding. Now I'm partially regretting saying this. That Joe Exotic was getting in trouble for feeding people expired meat. He was making food in a restaurant with expired meat. And the thing is, I've talked about it on Discord a lot. And we'll do a voice chat later on here in 15 minutes on Discord. About how big of a fan I am going to Walmart and buying expired meat. Did you know they have to sell it at like 10% price after it's expired, if you can find it? So I've bought like $200 worth of ribeyes that are expired. And the joke that I make on Discord on a regular basis is that watching Tiger King is going to let the cat out of the bag on the expired meat's a thing that you can eat. So. Yeah, I mean, this kind of format's kind of what we're going to. I mean, maybe not live questions and answers as much, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about the rapper that sang the Carol Baskin song because it's all over TikTok. Yeah, expired means not for retail, but the thing is, and this is where I like it, is I've bought ribeyes for $3 a pound. Like $200 worth of them. I ate good for a while. So I talked to all these people on Facebook and stuff. And it's why I brought up Tiger King, is because I talked to a lot of people on Facebook and they're like, oh, I can't believe I would do that. Only hicks from the South do that. I'm like, well, Southern Ohio. We have a store that specializes in expired meat. No kidding. So, all right, I'm going to get off of here. Be sure to do teachable.com or investmentjoy.com/teach. That'll take you to my Teachable page. You can sign up for the live streams in the future because I don't know how often I'm going to do them. And if you want to watch the full replay of this on where I talk about business plans and why business plan is important. And you can also get access to the other basic business series. Like I've said, I want to be fully transparent to you guys, explain to you, I do want to have a course at one point specifically on real estate investment. I'm looking at hiring a lawyer or legal team to do pre-printed contracts for investment. So you guys can submit proposals to investors and get funding for real estate investments. Typically, those kinds of contracts are a lot of money. So I figure, if I do a course, I can have pre-printed contracts from a lawyer, and I can sell them as a part of the course and make money off them really inexpensively. I think it's a good value proposition. That's something that I want to do in the future, like I'm guessing 3 to 4 months from now. But in the meantime, I'm working on building a live stream course series of videos specifically about good topics that you should learn if you want to start a business, whether it's real estate, a laundromat, stuff like that. Like, how can you start a Facebook page and get a crap load of people to buy your product without buying things? I want to do a video on that. I want to do a video on contract negotiation. How should you talk to a person on the phone? How can you get somebody to do what you need them to do without being a terrible human being? How to identify whether a property is good. Like, one of the dirty little tactics that you do for a laundromat is you go in and you call the city water department and ask for a copy of their utility bills. And then you go and you visit the laundromat and you look at their machines, and it takes like 30 seconds on Google to find out how many gallons it takes per washer cycle. And then you take the gallons they use per month divided by the number of gallons that the average washer takes, and then you can figure out almost exactly how much money that laundromat's making. And that's just like this little interesting quirk that you can use to evaluate specifically a laundromat. So I want to do a segment on Teachable about how you do that for other businesses. I can show you guys how to do that in real estate with rentals and how to flip properties. And there's all these different ways you can do those kinds of things. Some people say they're underhanded, but it's just business. It's great. I love it. And, I want to do a series on that kind of stuff. So I want to do a series on Excel, accounting, basic marketing, how to build a Facebook page. And the idea is to have like a 50-hour course on how to start a business, basic business skills. 100% of everything associated with that's going to be free. Free. You're not going to pay for it ever. And it's just going to be on there. And the best part is, I want to use feedback from everybody that says, Brandon, when you were talking about a Facebook page and you said go and use memes to make money, I don't understand what you meant about memes. Can you show me what kind of memes you should use? You talked about how you did that one meme and you had 2 million people on Facebook share it, or you had 2 million people on Facebook see your silly meme about the sun. I don't understand what you're talking about. It's like, oh, okay, I did a live stream. I forgot I should throw the funny sun picture up that we had 2 million views on Facebook from. So I want to build this course or this thing on Teachable and then have versions and revisions so that when there's a question that you guys ask on YouTube, or specifically on Teachable, when you guys ask questions, like, oh, okay, so the next time I have like 5 minutes, I'm going to go in, I'm going to show you a picture of that meme. I have this newspaper that's stupid large in terms of social media and sharing and stuff. We've spent nothing on it, just viral marketing and crap. And the viral marketing aspect, it's like, oh, okay. It's like with YouTube. To me, it's like if you build up basic business skills, your chance of running a business successfully is just exponentially higher. You can't guarantee success for anybody, but it's like I think if everybody knew how to market, negotiate, build a website, run accounting and stuff, your chances of running a successful business are probably, I would say, Brandon's opinion, Hillbilly Brandon, 20 times higher. And, it's like the average person has a 1% chance of succeeding at starting a business. Now you have a 20% chance of succeeding in a business. And then mentally here, it's like, oh, okay, you go and you start 5 businesses, you have a near 100% chance of, we'll do Excel real quick. Can you see it right up here? So what's 20 times 20 times 20 times 20. Now let's, okay, sorry, I'm doing that calculation wrong. I don't even know how to do exponents on there. Okay, what's 80 times 80% times 80% times... See, I'm not great at Excel. You guys need to understand. 80% times 80%. So if you had all the ability to... you can't even see it here with my... Oh, it's right there. Shoot. Okay. Holy crap, it disappeared. Oh my gosh. It disappeared. Oh, there it is. Okay, right there. So if you have an 80% or 20% chance of success at a business, it's like, oh, you go and you start 5 businesses. You now have a 78% chance of succeeding in the business. So that's where that number is. So then you guys start 6 businesses, I guess. So turn on the faucet, run down the drain, fake the water bill, have no accurate this. That's true, but you go and you get 3 years worth of water bills for a laundromat. You want to know a secret? I pulled the water bills for all my competitors to see how much money they make. I went down to the city water department. The city water department didn't care. They're like, oh, okay, what are you doing, Brandon? I'm like, I'm doing a business analysis on laundromats here in my town. I'd just like to get the data on all of them. Well, how long do you want back, Brandon? How about 10 years of water bills for my competitor? Okay, here you go. They gave them to me. I threw them in an Excel spreadsheet. It was like, oh, the laundromat down the road makes $20,000 a month. That's cool. But Tokyo Llama, I think, said that they had to do, like, there were requirements. So, okay, okay. 1.85, is that it? No. See, I don't know. See, I should get better at Excel. But, you know, it's also live. My IQ drops significantly, so. Okay, so I'm going to get off of here. Voice chat, yes, milk cap. That's not how you spell it, so. Anyway, so that's kind of where I want to go with the teachable stuff. That's why I would like you guys to sign up. A lot of it's going to be free. If you want to get direct consulting from me, you know, we have an opt-in thing. It's like $50 a month. You can do it if it has interest to you. We're going to also do some like private live streaming type things, but we haven't really implemented that yet. So don't feel compelled that you have to buy it. Actually, it'll probably kill me because I said that. Anyway. He wants me to make money because he gets a little cut. But that's what we're going to do. Then we're going to have a paid portion that's going to be like some really heavy hitter things. And it's like, you know, if you do follow the free course on Teachable and then, you know, you implement it, you're probably going to be making a lot of money. So it's like, then you want to do the upsell Brandon's Teachable course with like the really in-depth seller finance, like, I'll do a video on lease options, like how you can get somebody to give you the real estate. But then the upsell version is going to be, oh, here's the contracts that you need. I'm going to tell you in the free portion of the video that you can Google and go to Google Bigger Pockets and Rocket Lawyer. And in between those two resources, you should be able to find a free lease option contract. But then you do the upsell course version. It's like, oh, here's a pre-approved version of this for your specific state. Just sign here, here, and here. I can't provide one of those for free because you screw up. You're going to sue me. But if I make money on it, I can pay a lawyer and he'll get me out. So, wife does not help with it. So, hey, if you guys want to do the voice chat on my way home, it'll be like 10 minutes. Spoonies.club. Click the thumbs up button for Discord, and I'll get on voice chat here in a little bit. So, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, Webull.com if you my Webull referral link if you haven't done Webull yet. You should invest in stocks. All right, I'm going to try this exponent thing. So I'd love to figure out how to learn them tonight. Oh, that's how it works. So, yeah. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.